Feeling no pressure but appears in the media. Better stop treating small or medium. I'm extra large, big ticket, premium. Bound that tongue, you believe in me. Yeah, I'ma lay it down, grabbing that crown. Laying dollars on the ground, gonna double up now. 65 to 4 and 3, 2, one more time. Heavy punchline about to prove. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high. Clear your heads now, watch a peek. Let it go and prove my worth, let me earn it. Gonna pass this test and get me a permit. Watch how I do, sit down, observe it. Fires in my soul, uncontrollable burn. Look at me then, look at me now. Correct your bones to rule the crew, make you bow now. Class you want to opponents to see. Blow, kiss, goodbye, while they scream and shriek. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high. If you feel my vibes, then pop with me. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath.
Wow. Absolutely wow.
Wow, just amazing. Amazing stuff.
You believe that we're like a real podcast now?
I mean, I think we're always a real podcast. I don't think the opening is what really determines that. But that was a very good opening stream. I agree. That was very good stuff. Very good stuff.
I think it is a big part of it, but also we made it to episode 2. Like, we didn't just bail after episode 1. That's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive, you know? And, you know, it's going to keep on holding true. We're going to do episode 3, episode 4, episode 5.
You think
we're
so?
We're going to keep on going. I think we're going to go to the distance. Yep.
What if I
It's gonna
die?
happen. Well, I'll continue on. It's what you would have wanted.
You know what I'd do? You know what I'd do if you died? I'd just replace you.
Okay.
I'd
With
get
who?
like Oziak or something because you want him so badly. I'd bring him on and I'd be like, hey man, you want to do a Persona podcast? And we'd probably get
Then
along
every
much
episode would
better,
just be
too.
P5 glaze.
Good,
You'd
that,
probably get more motion,
that
but
sounds,
every episode
you're
would be
only
P5
encouraging
glaze
me
up and
further.
down.
That sounds amazing.
That does kind of sound amazing. But, you know, if you die, I won't replace you. I'll just do it with myself because everyone really comes for me. But
Okay.
it's okay.
Solo podcast? That's
Yeah.
alright.
I'm schizophrenic enough. I
Okay.
could pull that off.
Okay, I believe you. Well look, today's a special day. Okay? Today
Yeah, it is.
a special day because there's a lot of things to talk about. You'd think there wouldn't be, considering all the things going on in the community. There isn't really a big game, hasn't really been much from Atlas, but I've got a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about. There's always something to talk about.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead? Why don't you start us off with something light? Because you're not gonna want to see what comes next. Start us with something light.
Okay. So it's Valentine's today, isn't it? Everyone
is.
Here, I mean, I know none of you have a Valentine because you're Persona fans, but today is Valentine's Day. So, in accordance with that, we wanted to discuss some, you know, things relating to Valentine's and Persona, like the romances. Because Screen, he just loves the romance feature in Persona. It's what keeps him coming back.
It is.
He loves it in every game, and he raves about it nonstop.
That's why I don't like
even
Megaton.
off-stream.
I don't like any of the other games that don't have romance.
Yeah. If they don't have romance, he's not interested.
Yep.
That's what brings him in. So Screen, let's say, what purpose do you think that P6 should continue having romance? Do you
I think
that's
it
something that
should.
be continued?
Look, if we're being on the real, okay? There might be people who are a little bit too much, a little too attached to it. Okay, you go on the Reddits of the Persona games or whatever, and it seems like that's all they played the game for, because that's all they really talk about. But I think that causes some pushback from other people who want it like gone or whatever. The reality is, I like my social sim. I think romance is a natural part of that, and it's in a lot of RPGs in general. This isn't like exclusive to Persona or anything.
True.
And
Fire Emblem has it too. Yeah.
I like it. I think the one problem I've always had with that, I just feel like they don't go far enough with it. Like, it just feels like outside of the few little unique scenes for it, doesn't feel like it really goes that far in any way. Like, it doesn't feel like it really affects much in any sort of, I don't know, different dialogue in certain areas or something would be cute. P5 has a little bit of that, but
It's very minimal. I think that like they should like go on and like have stuff like I don't know, like it maybe sounds stupid, but like maybe affected in battle, like you get like special team up attacks or something like that. I don't know. I think stuff like that would be cool. Like make it really feel. I mean, obviously that adds to a lot more dev time because at that point you have to consider like another special thing with like every character you could romance. But I mean, more meaning in like because the social links in like P5 for instance, right? Like in general, the ones that you don't romance, the confidant perks like were introduced to that game and like they're really cool because they blend the social aspect and like the dungeon crawling aspect together in a really cool way. I think we should see out like something maybe similar with romance and stuff like that, or just like more cute scenes like you mentioned. I think that would go a long way as well. Just make it feel more involved, you know.
I
That's
mean,
the biggest issue for me as well.
I agree. Branching, like something I like when everything kind of feels like it has a purpose outside of like just the idea of it existing for the sake of role playing or something. Confidant abilities were kind of an extension of that. Before, social links only really added to Arcana Burst. Now they, I mean, barring the party members in P4, now like there's all these different abilities and stuff. They're maybe a little bit broken in P5. I think Metaphor did a really good balance of kind of both having abilities, but they weren't too crazy. I think everything feeling like it has a purpose for you doing it, especially in these games where your time is important and what you do is important. Yeah, it's a good element of them. I wouldn't give it up.
I agree. I don't think they should go away either. I think they should just go further with it, like you said. Yeah, like Metaphor doesn't have romance, and like I mean, I love Metaphor. Don't get me wrong, and the confidant perks in that game are really cool. But I don't think I don't think the game is better because it doesn't have romance. I mean, I just feel neutral on it at that point. But I think in Persona, especially like when you're trying to emulate that atmosphere of like high school and stuff, and having that kind of feels like a natural extension of like the friendships you form with your party and stuff like that. And yeah, just going further with it would be a good step for Persona 6, I think.
Yeah, it feels a lot more at home in Persona. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It matches more because like like it's just like the cast in general is like more immature and like I think you can see those kind of things blooming like more often with like teenagers and stuff than you would with like grown ass adults. Like in Metaphor, like I don't think it'd be out of place necessarily. It just I think Metaphor could probably still work if it had romance like Persona. I don't think it'd look that out of place, but I think it fits more within the setting that Persona tries to like maintain. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something that's nice about these games is every playthrough feels kind of unique. Like depending on who's playing it, you'll have like totally different. Like all your ranks for your social links will be different. Your stats will look different at different points in the game. Like everybody has kind of like their own unique playthrough because they play it in different ways and they use their time on different things. I think whoever they romance is kind of another extension of that. Everyone kind of has their own, or nobody. You could be alone, like the average Persona fan today.
True. I mean, hey, the good thing about being alone though, especially in like P5, you get to hang out with Ryuji, man. That fucking that event's hilarious. I love that one.
True.
I love you can say like, "Am I your Valentine?" And like just says, "What? Hell no, man!" Like I thought we had something special, but I guess Ryuji doesn't see it the same way I do. But whatever.
Well,
I'm
look,
not mad about that.
today is the hallmark holiday, Valentine's Day. And like the average Persona fan, I also don't have a Valentine. So nothing, I don't feel a goddamn thing in the air but hate, okay? If I'm being completely honest with you. Alright?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's only one way, only one person I want to take this hate out on today. And today it's going to be you, IncompetentC.
Oh gosh, you're such a. I hate you. You know, I don't like you as a person. I mean, I think I'm gonna find you some way to get back at you for this one, but it's okay.
Look,
what is it? What's going on?
over the last 2 weeks, okay, and I gave you a little bit of a heads up on this, but over the last 2 weeks, you've been talking a lot of shit about the Persona 3 Reload Awakening, Makoto Awakening cutscene, okay?
I have.
You've been talking a lot of shit, saying it's really, well, we'll get into it, but basically that you think it's really bad, right? To put it
I do
simply.
think it's really bad.
Okay, good. I'm glad you think that. Can you open the stream real quick?
It's open.
Look, okay? I want you to just read your own comments here, okay? Can you go ahead and read what's on the screen here? So I'll give some preamble, right? You had a poll of which version of The Awakening was best. The original won by a lot. Somebody here said sweep. Can you read what you wrote in response here?
Sure. I'm honestly kind of glad. I like Reload, and I think that I'm gonna type it there. I mean that Awakening scene sucks.
Okay, he thinks it's this is a very, very negative negative way of putting it. Okay, let's go over. Can you read this next one here? This one's even more important, I'd say.
Okay.
Just skip the middle one here.
Okay, sure. The moment the stream delay, actually catches. Okay, thank you. Okay. Like, I remembered my disappointment when I first played the game and saw it, but I thought I was maybe over-exaggerating.
Okay. So now he's not only saying he doesn't like it, I remembered my disappointment when I first saw and played it. When I first played it. Okay. You willing to back that statement up, you think?
And I know what you're going to come at me with, but I know exactly how to refute this. It's okay. But yeah, sure. What's up?
So, unluckily for you, somebody streamed the game the day it came out. Pretty much the hour it came out. The second it came out. That would be none other than the god himself, Screenmints. And guess...
Get the fuck out of town.
Unluckily for you, guess who was in a call with him playing the game at the exact same time?
And pray tell, who would that be?
It would be you, IncompetentC. And guess what? Would be even worse if our playthroughs were synced up and we got to the Awakening at about the same time, so we had maybe a clip here from the stream of both of our live reactions to the Awakening for the first time ever. You think we have that?
That would be insane.
You think we've got that?
I think there's a possibility that we might Screenmints.
Well, look,
there's a possibility.
Today's Valentine's Day, okay? So I made this with love. I took the clip, I even captioned it so we can tell exactly what you're saying. IncompetentC, will you be my Valentine?
No, what the fuck?
Listen.
Oh my god. I'll listen. Oh, please. Fuck.
That's it.
The haircut looks like shit in this, by the way. I'm gonna stop taking screenshots. I'm putting my controller down. I keep on taking really fucking screenshots.
Oh shit. It looks so good. The in-game render cuts are fire.
Oh my god.
Hmm. I don't know
my god.
how I feel with the big bars, but...
Wait.
It's fucking peak. Oh my god.
Go on.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
God damn! Yo! This is, oh my god. I mean, I knew it was coming, obviously, but like... Fuck! It looks... Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
Oh my god, it looks really good. Holy shit.
Honestly, Thanatos. Thanatos is one of my favorite looking personas.
Me too, man.
I like Messiah even more, but...
Oh my god, Alex Lee! Me too, I'm Messiah. It's fucking one of her persona designs ever, dude.
Gotta say, this really sounds like a man who's not enjoying this so far. I've gotta say.
You know, Persona 3 just has banger design.
Thanatos gonna be good in this game, by the way. He was kind of mid in the OG, even though he looks dope.
Agree. Oh my fucking god.
Jesus.
I'm gonna fucking cry, dude.
This animation's cool.
It's so raw.
Alright, that was nice. The sound design could have been stronger, but great animation.
Oh, please do the thing. Oh my god, it's doing the thing. Oh my god.
I might want to turn sound effects up. The sound design feels a little muffled in comparison to everything else. Maybe I'm crazy. Damn! These just sliced them.
It's so raw.
I think it was really hard. I don't remember how much of this is even in the original. I literally can't remember right now. But it's animated.
The choreography seems a lot more based off the movies, if anything else, actually. That kind of
Yeah,
makes me
I think
out.
they
Like,
took
that
off a lot.
in the original game, like, Dan just fucking eats the thing, and here, but that's the movie thing where he crushes it. Interesting.
Man, it looks really good. I
I
really like the
know.
animation.
Dude, imagine
Yeah,
how good Persona 6 is gonna look. Oh my god.
that was good. I think I really like that. So that's the end of our clip. I've got to say, that doesn't sound like a man who. Sorry, actually, let me pull your messages up one more time. That doesn't sound like a man who was disappointed when he first played and saw it, and a person who thinks it fucking sucks. That sounds like a man.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Not done? Okay.
That sounds like a man who really enjoyed it. I think you enjoyed it more than I did from that clip. You were straight edging to that thing, okay? So let's go ahead and hear, alright? Because you turned on me, just like everyone else did. You turned on Reload when it was fucking advantageous, alright? I thought it was just the people on Twitter who were Judases. It turns out I'm surrounded by them. So go ahead, tell me, why do you think so differently? No, actually, explain why. Explain why, and that. Explain how that is disappointment when you first saw it. Explain that.
If you would let me explain, Screen, I do have a perfectly good justification for why I reacted this way, and yet described my thoughts as seemingly, contrary. Okay? Capiche? You understand me? Okay, I'll explain. Listen. I had been waiting for Persona 3 Reload, a remake of that Persona 3, my favorite game at the time of all time, for about a while. I think it's been over a year since I originally played P3 and had started wanting a remake. Okay. So when I first see that Awakening cutscene, when the game just comes out, I will be focusing on everything I actually do like about it. Like, for instance, I never thought the character models were the problem. I even say this now. I like the character models in Reload. I think they're the best the series has ever seen. So you understand, when I'm glazing that opening you see right there, it is because the game had just dropped and I'm focusing on the aspects of it that I still like now. But obviously later on, when I actually have a point of comparison, I can more adequately say what I dislike about it and how it falters in comparison to the original. Again, you literally on last stream, I said I saw that one exclusively on its own without knowing context for how the other openings looked, I would think it looked great. But I'm just saying, in comparison to what it tries to replicate or try to remake, and more accurately, I think it does it significantly worse. And I did actually feel some level of disappointment when I first saw it, despite my words, again, fixating on what I really liked. When I said that in those messages, I really meant that sinking feeling that only I felt deep in my heart,
Well,
that I
look,
did not voice because I wanted to focus on what I liked.
For starters, you had seen the original before this, right?
I had, but it's been a while.
And what it sounds like you're saying right now is that you just like the original more. I like the original more as well, though. That's not what you said. You said it fucking sucks, and it was disappointing.
Disappointing when in comparison, sure. Is that more satisfactory?
Well, that's not what you said. That's not what you've been saying.
I said it sucks because I'm obviously pointing to the point of reference of the original fucking when it's a remake that is so similar to the original. When I say it sucks, I should be implicit that I mean it sucks when compared to what it's trying to remake.
No, those are two different statements.
I think it should be implicit.
I
think it's implicit.
Because if I say Persona 3 Reload sucks, you're gonna be, oh, this guy fucking hated the game. If I say it's not as good as the original or it sucks in comparison, that's a different statement. People are gonna take that differently.
You're right, but when I'm referring to something specific like this, a shot-for-shot cutscene, I don't think that should be taken to the same level as saying an entire game sucks. It's not really comparable.
No, it's not comparable, but I'm saying those are two different statements. If you had said that it's not as good as the original or thing, I would have agreed. But you said that you've been talking so much fucking shit, okay? I only got 2 screenshots, but we can get more. You've been talking about how much you hate this cutscene.
Again, I think you have to realize that I'm obviously talking from a point of comparison here. I think when you compare to the original, yes, it does suck in comparison. The biggest issue I noticed in the remakes is that the sound design is just not there to make you feel the level of tension that you feel in the original.
Right.
Or the his awakening post is not nearly as dynamic as it was in even the movie. And I don't like the movie as much as the original either. But
let me just ask you this, son. Okay, let me just ask you this, son. Let me just ask you: is it a good cutscene? And not by comparison. Is it a good Awakening cutscene?
Now, when you say it's a good Awakening cutscene, you mean not even compared to other Persona Awakenings in general. You just mean like if I only played Persona 3 Reload and I just meant that one in particular, if it was a good cutscene.
Everything in life is kind of compared to other things, but do you what would you give it out of 10?
I do like how in the very, very beginning, not the way it's shot, but the expressions on the characters are really well done in Reload. I think they're very expressive character models. So I do like the panic in Yukari's face and the pensive look that Makoto has before he does it, as well as the expressions on everyone in the command room. So it also has like, it's just very like the models are high quality in general. It's obviously a 2024 release.
You're not
I'd
answering
probably
the
give that
question.
cutscene on its own. Because I'm fucking evaluating it,
Go
dickhead.
ahead. Go ahead. What's the
God.
answer? What's the evaluation, Professor?
I'd give that cutscene a 6 to 7 out of 10.
Oh,
I'd
so
say
you do
around
like
6 to
it.
7 out of 10. As I stated, I'm referring to when compared to the original. I don't think it obviously, I'm going to use the original as a mark of comparison. You explicitly stated right now I shouldn't do that. You're saying on its own.
Yeah,
sure,
when
that's
you
fine.
say something
Well,
sucks,
obviously,
that's not just in comparison. That's that it's really bad and it's not good.
in a remake, of course, I will compare it to the original, though. You have to understand, especially when the cutscene is that like similar. Like in Silent Hill 2, that's a good example. I wouldn't compare the opening of the game to the original because it's so different in Silent Hill 2 that it feels like a hard thing to compare. But the kind of remake Persona 3 Reload is, that cutscene especially, is obviously trying to emulate either the movie or that of the original. Probably a combination of both, more realistically. But I think it does a poor job at imitating both. And that's obvious. When I say it sucks, I mean that. Because it's a remake that I'm meeting it where it's at. Obviously, the remake is trying to replicate the choreography of the original, so I will obviously critique it on that basis.
Like,
Does not
okay,
mean that
here's
I
the
contradict
problem
myself.
though. Now, if that's your point of if that's what you think sucks, if like what that should denote. Now there's so many things in Reload that you think suck. You realize that? Like, you said a lot of things in our last episode that was centered around Reload were not nearly as good as the original. So now there's a lot of things in Reload sucks.
Cutscenes and no, hold on. You're putting words in my mouth here. I mainly mentioned cutscenes. Remember what I'm okay? Easiest example, soundtrack. I mentioned that I think Reload soundtrack is an overall side grade. And that is obviously with the model of comparing it to the original. I think some tracks are worse. I think a lot of tracks are better. I think some are just in the middle, like about the same as the original. So I said that I think it's about the same. I also think the gameplay in Reload is improved. Even if I have issues with it, that's not as a mark of comparison. I think comparing the both, I probably like Reloads more. Even if it is okay. See, I'm doing the same thing I mentioned last time, where I'm hinging everything I say. I will not hinge it. I think the gameplay is more fun, and I like it more in Reload. I like the theurgy attacks. I think they're very cool. I like the, especially Junpei's second one. The point I'm trying to make is, I said things direction-wise are worse than the original, but I don't think the entire game is reflective of that. I don't think the entire game does things the original does, but worse. I don't think that's true. I think there's some things, again, like I said, direction, atmosphere are big ones, but I think there's other things that Reload does better or about the same.
You're making much more reasonable statements now, but can we just be clear? This was the same guy on Twitter. Let's pull this up on the monitor real quick, okay? Who was saying that the P5X Awakening was better than Reload still.
Did I say that?
Yes! It's on the screen!
My stream's delayed, but why would I say that? Oh my god. Okay, I was probably being hyperbolic, Stream. You can say that's a cop-out. I'm pretty sure I was being hyperbolic, okay? Sorry, go ahead. What's up?
I personally wouldn't, but I don't think that's an insane take. Reload's downgrade to the Awakening. It was so clear that it was bad. I felt so disappointed when I played Reload and saw that Awakening again. We know this is now not true, okay? We have the footage. Can I ask, do you dispute that point at least? Do you think, do you still, now that you've seen how you initially reacted to it?
This guy's going back to fucking September. Oh my
Hey, I'll go back wherever I have to go, okay? But this is not any different than the statement you made in the Discord less than 2 weeks ago. Okay, I've been waiting ever since I saw that to expose you right here, right now on a Social Links exclusive. Okay, do you at least walk this statement back that you felt disappointed? I mean, we saw your reaction.
No, I felt okay. Again, you heard me. Hold on. You heard my excitement.
I heard you sounded like a man who was about to come. Okay.
I know you saw my reaction. I know I said like I was about to ejaculate. Okay. I just explained to you a moment ago that I was fixing on everything I actually do like about it, which I again reiterated here. But obviously, when you have more time to let it sit, and I also beyond that initial reaction, I did feel something negative about it initially. I just didn't voice that because I wanted to be okay. I don't think this is a crazy thing to say, that when it's something you've been looking forward to for a long time, you are obviously going to like try and like gaslight yourself into really, really loving every aspect of it conceivable. I don't think people switched up on Reload. I think some people just had more time to think on it. It's like things like that, right?
So for starters,
switching up for the sake of switching up.
For starters, okay, I don't think like that. I was evaluating it, and my evaluation, actually, funnily enough, is actually pretty similar to what it is now. It's funny. I didn't remember that I mentioned the sound design when I first watched it, but I did, and that's still one of my bigger critiques of it. The sound design was not very good in that cutscene. Then, okay, hold on. Do you admit this, son? You are an Atlas Glazer.
What? I am absolutely.
Okay.
Oh,
You're willing. We should just never trust your opinion We should just never trust your opinion on an Atlas game after it comes out again, because you just admitted that you are going to gaslight yourself into, and basically into
I
liking it.
feel like it's also worth mentioning that again, Persona 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. Big attachment to it. I don't think any Persona 3 fan would really want to be disappointed by a remake. But I admit, sure, I was not as critical as I could have been, or more accurate to my real feelings at the moment in time. Sure, I can accept that. But I think my opinions right now are pretty solidified, and I don't think they're going to change. I think that I think I have evaluated it in a very fair position now. And it takes time because, again, I have a lot of attachment to Persona 3. Obviously, you're going to say it's cringe or whatever. Obviously, sure, I can agree with that. But I think it's hard to be completely critical of a remake of like your favorite game of all time. Like, I mean, it's just hard. I mean, I don't know. Like, I was going in flame wars all the time on Twitter, like when the game first dropped, and like, I still agree with a lot of what I said back then. Especially like one of my critiques I voiced around when the game came out. You agreed with me on this. I didn't like the Link episode. I mean, I don't hate the Link episodes. I think they're like probably good additions overall. But I had a healthy amount of critiques about them, especially that of Junpei's at the time, and you agreed with me back then. Like,
Yeah, I did.
I don't think all my takes back then were necessarily like completely me like gaslighting myself into loving every single facet of the game. And I don't think it's necessarily like I'm a glazer. I can admit that. I don't think I disliked it. No, I didn't like Selectors too. So I'm not even a fucking complete glazer. But
What
when it comes to Persona 3, very special connection to the game.
What
okay?
I take
You have to
issue with
realize
now,
that.
okay, is not even that fine. Your opinion can change. That's fair. Obviously, opinions can change, okay? Now, I don't believe in that whole I gaslight myself to like it when I'm hyped for it ever.
You don't have to believe it, but it's true. It's legitimately true. I didn't just switch up for the sake of switching up. I did feel like a slight level of disappointment in it, but I fixated on the things I liked about it because I really wanted to like everything the remake had to offer.
But like when
understandable?
every single time you portray your feelings on the game, and it's always positive, and now you can just walk it all back because you're saying, well, actually, secretly, I did feel disappointment. It's not really. Come on.
I'm not lying. You think I'm telling the truth. I did feel some disappointment in the cutscene, but again, I don't know why it's crazy to think that like if it's something you've waited a long time for, the Persona 3 again.
You were ejaculating. You were even naming things that you were like. You're like, oh shit. And I get you say that these are not the problems you have with it, but you're like ejaculating, being like, ah, it looks really good. Fucking Alex Lee's going crazy. All this different shit. Like I sort of got you. Sound.
I like about it. I like the voice acting.
If I heard that, I would think you're having a heart attack. Okay. Like that, you were going over the fucking top. You love this shit, and now this awakening cutscene's it's not that good. And
that's actually more credence to my argument. If you hear like what I'm talking about in the clip, I'm not talking about oh my god the shot composition is so good. Oh my god the sound design is so good.
I mean, when you say it looks good,
the voice acting is good. Yeah, I mean graphical fidelity. Okay, that's a fair argument, but I in that moment I meant graphical fidelity because again I think Reload's a very pretty game. It's just straight up graphical fidelity is very high, but there's a lot of things I don't like about it. And again, I'm gonna fix it on things I really loved about it at the moment because again I had been waiting a long time for Persona 3 Remake. I just don't know why that's hard to believe. Like you can say I'm an Atlas glazer, you can say whatever you want, but obviously I will try and fix it despite things I like. I don't want to really accept the fact of things I don't like about it. Okay.
Well, you know
like
what?
The fucking shadow self in Persona 4. Okay, it's a shadow self in Persona 4. Okay.
You know
that's what it fucking is.
You know what? You know you can trust always give you his objective feelings, no matter what game he's evaluating or at what time. You can trust your old pal Screen. Okay, this IncompetentC guy, he's a hack fucking. He just admit to all of you on the Social Links podcast, okay, that you can't trust his first opinion, alright? We shouldn't even trust his metaphor opinion yet. In 9 months, he might start saying the game sucks.
No, I think that one, I didn't have the same attachment to the metaphor IP that I did to the Persona 3 one. Like, I was waiting for metaphor, but you don't understand how badly I was waiting for Persona 3 Reload. No, like the thing with Persona 3 is that the game I had already played before. I already had like time to form an attachment to it as a game. So when a remake comes out of it, I had obviously been highly anticipating it. And I was highly anticipating Metaphor too, not like I was anticipating Reload though. Don't get me wrong, I think Reload's a better game, but at the time before release, I had more reason to be fair of the game than I was with Reload. There was less of that rapport built up with the original game because there was no original game for Metaphor. It was a completely new like entry for Atlas as a whole. You can maybe say maybe your argument would be true with Persona 6 because I actually have been waiting for that one for a long time. I have a big rapport with the Persona series, but Metaphor, I'm pretty sure I was as fair on that game as I could have been. I think everything I say won't really change that much.
I just can't believe
if it changes at all.
Okay, I've been a Reload enjoyer, okay, since day one. Okay, and now on the first time we did this podcast. All right, day one we did this rank 1. Okay, we did a reload stream talking about how much we liked the game by basically saying everything we hated about it. Okay, that was like the most negative, positive stream I've seen in my life.
It was not that negative.
Okay,
It was not that negative.
And now we're still shitting on it. Okay, this game doesn't deserve all this. You know that, right? It doesn't deserve all this hate.
Oh. Look, Screen. I don't know what it's gonna take for you to accept the fact that I love Persona 3 Reload, and again, I have look at my backlog. I have it at a 10 out of 10. It's in my top 5 of all time.
Which is higher than I have it, which is very funny. Because
yeah, you realize if I'm a fan of something, I have more things that I'm gonna be like stringent on it about, even if I love it. Like I love Persona 3 Reload, I love Persona 3 Original, but obviously I'm gonna have more points of critique if I love the game like a shitload.
You seem to have less points of enjoyment too.
No, I have a it's more, when you're on a podcast like this, there's more interesting things to say. Like, you want me to glaze the game for like an hour?
No, I don't want you to glaze the game.
Could.
But this switch
up,
this was a betrayal. Okay, this is a betrayal for everything we stood for. Okay.
I like the game more than you, Screen Mints. I like the game more than you. You still have P5R over it, don't you?
I do, absolutely. I say it with fucking
pride. I like the game more than you do. I love Persona 3.
I don't know.
I fucking love that game.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you're gonna come to me in a year from now and you're gonna be like, you know, I was actually really disappointed for the first year I played Persona 3 Reload. The gameplay just wasn't really hidden, but I was trying to convince myself because I was so hyped for it. You know, I've actually just
not this I know your entire argument is built on this like skepticism about my genuine feelings. You don't have to believe me, but I to those in the chat, I guarantee you, I am telling.
Look at the way. Look at your reaction to the original. Okay? How was I supposed to believe? How am I supposed to believe anything you say anymore? That felt genuine. I didn't feel any disappointment in there. You were more positive in that video than I was.
Fixated. Oh my god, I fixated on the things I loved about it, obviously, because it had just dropped, and I obviously would not. If it just came out, I don't know how to explain. I don't know why it's so hard for you to believe, but I don't want to fix on the things I dislike about something when I had been anticipating it for so long. Is that so hard to believe? Is that really a stretch for you?
It's not hard to believe. Look, if I didn't have that clip, let's say that stream VOD got deleted, okay? I would believe you. I would believe you. The only reason I went back to see that is because you said, when I first saw it, I felt disappointed, and I'm like, did he? I don't remember. So I went back to the stream, I remembered, we were in a call, and I watched the footage, and I'm like, this doesn't sound like a man who's disappointed. This sounds like a man who's ejaculating. This sounds like the most... You were probably in the top 10 happiest men on the planet at that moment, okay?
Because the Persona, my favorite game of all time, Persona 3, got its fucking remake. I already said this a million times, that of course I'm gonna fix it on the things I love about it when I don't. Do you see the thing that I'm not like everyone on Twitter, okay? I don't want to be disappointed with fucking a thing I love, okay? I will go out of my way to try and fix it on what I love about it, being unnecessarily positive to a certain extent. Sure, I do sound like I'm ejaculating, because in that moment I was thinking about, fuck, we have a Persona 3 remake, fuck, the voice acting's amazing, fuck, it looks visually impressive, the graphical fidelity's out there. I'm not gonna be lingering on the feeling I have, but I don't like the shot composition, I don't like the way the sound design as much, I'm not gonna be thinking about all things like that. I'm just gonna be thinking about the first 3 things I mentioned: the voice acting, the graphical fidelity, the fact that I'm playing a Persona 3 remake. Is that really? Again, I want to ask you again. Even with that in mind, even seeing the clip, is that really hard to believe still? Really?
That you would want to like it?
Yes.
A little bit, to be honest. A little bit.
Really?
Want to like it in what sense? Wow, I hope this game is good? You probably would hope any game is good, even if it's in a series you don't like.
I hope it lives up to everything I would have expected from
Persona 3. Yeah, of course you're gonna hope that, but there's a difference between hoping for that and coping for that, okay?
It was coping, fine, you can call it coping, you can call it whatever you want.
I don't okay, then this is the crux. I don't believe that clip was cope. I don't think so.
Screen, I don't know how to tell you this, but it was. I explained to you, in detail, everything that was going through my head at that moment in time. I don't... Serene, your favorite game of all time is, what, SMT5 Vengeance? My
favorite game of all time is P5R.
Oh, P5R. Shit, well, that's a bad example. Okay, MGS3. MGS3 Remake, right? Coming out right now. Yep. It's gonna come out. If you play it...
One of my favorite games.
Do you think when it first... Yeah, one of your favorite games of all time. When you play it, do you think you're gonna be like voicing everything you dislike the moment you see it, or do you think you're
If
gonna
I
be focusing on what
dislike
you
it,
really like about
yeah.
it? No, let's say it's like a Persona. Let's say it's like a Persona 3 Reload situation where it's like mostly, like generally a very good remake with some pitfalls here and then. Are you gonna fixate on those pitfalls
I'm not gonna
when
fixate
you
on
first
them,
play
but
it?
I'm not gonna lie about them
That's
being
what I'm
good.
asking.
I'm not gonna sit there and ejaculate when I hate it.
I didn't. I didn't say. Oh, hold on. I said I felt some disappointment about the. Okay, let's
Look,
explain it
here.
like this then.
I'll put it like this,
I
right?
think to me,
Let's
with
say,
okay, sure, fine,
all right, my favorite character in MGS3 is Ocelot, okay? Let's say
sure.
we get the first scene where he shows up. I love that scene, okay? The one where he tackles Snake and then he does the thing with the revolver and he like bounces the bullet off of like 3 different things and hit like all the crazy shit,
Oh,
right? Let's say they do
yeah, I
that,
know what you're talking about.
and I think it's significantly worse, okay? We'll do what you
Yeah,
said,
sure.
where you don't even think it's bad, even though you said it sucks, which makes it sound like you think it's bad, but we'll even
It
say,
sucks in a
I
point of
just think it's
comparison.
much
That's what
worse, okay? I'm not gonna lie and say it's good. Yes, I am going to voice. Wow, I really think they fucked up this cutscene, which is a shame because the gameplay's still really good. This is still really good. That's still thing. But wow, this cutscene direction is not nearly as good as the original. Yes, I will voice that. I did it with Reload.
Yeah, but you don't. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to find a game that you have the same attachment to that I had with Persona 3.
I
That's
you
why
think I don't have
I'm
attachment to
just.
P3? I played.
I think you have an attachment to P3, but obviously not the same attachment I do.
True.
Like,
Okay.
okay,
Yes.
again,
Yes.
it's my favorite Persona game.
But like, I
To be
love
clear.
Persona. I love Persona 3. I had reason go like I had all the reason in the world to want to love the game, and I did end up loving the game. But like, I didn't sit there and say everything was amazing. I didn't sit there and say that it was all great when I didn't really believe it. I voiced everything I said there that I voiced. You can literally hold on. Why are we even arguing this? In that cutscene,
Right.
in that clip, you can see that I'm saying that I'm like, I wish the black bars weren't so
You
big. I
mentioned
wish the
mixing,
sound design was
like
sick.
you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's not the
So-
same kind of thing. I mean, you meant like the actual, just like it wasn't coming through clear enough. I have a different critique of the sound design.
Well,
in that
no.
cutscene.
I said that, but now I know that no, it wasn't that it was too quiet. It's that the sound design isn't as good. Just bar none. It just isn't as good. I say that I should turn the sound effects up because it sounded really quiet, but it's actually that the sound effect in that I'm talking about there, I think it's when Thanatos crushes the thing specifically, but I'm really talking about the whole thing because I think there's a few points. It's just not, the sound effect just doesn't hit as hard. It's just not as punchy or whatever you want to call it.
I want to be clear. It took me a long time to have a definitive statement on everything I like about Real and everything I don't like. You can see, like, it took me months to really think about that shit. I want to be very clear. So I just, you were trying to say, okay, let's put it like this, all right? When that game first dropped, I am having a different value system. And first of all, spearheaded by the fact that I'm playing a remake of my favorite game of all time. But also the fact that I'm putting down, I'm not in that moment, I'm not valuing a side of things that I should have really cared about in that cutscene, for instance, right? Like I mentioned, shot composition, sound design, I think those are more important to the overall cutscene than it just looking pretty graphically and it just having good voice acting. The voice acting is a big part, though. That is actually a very good improvement that Reload made. But I just don't understand why it's so hard for you to grasp the fact that when it first came out, I'm going to fixate and I'm going to voice and I'm going to fucking goon about the fact that everything I love, I'm going to fix on every little thing I love about it, then be bogged down by the disappointment I feel for the really, in truth, more important bits of the cutscene. Is that, again, I want to ask you again, is that really hard to believe, even with how enthusiastic I sound in that clip? Because I am enthusiastic. That enthusiasm is not necessarily fake. I'm just prioritizing the things I do feel enthusiasm about in the moment. Does that make sense?
If
When I say I
that's the
felt
case,
disappointment, sure, okay, yeah.
let's say Persona 6 comes out, okay? And you have the same reaction to that protagonist's awakening. How am I supposed to trust that now?
You don't have to. You can just wait until I have more time to let it sit with me. And if it helps you feel better when it comes out, I will say I need more time to think on this. But I really like it, or the other flip side, maybe I really don't like it. It depends. I don't think I'll have the same. I think I'm very attached to the idea of Persona 6. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's gonna be the same as level I have attachment to like a remake of Persona 3 because even if Persona 6 is probably more impactful in general. When you already have an attachment to a game, it's harder. It's like harder to be like more reasonable about your feelings on it when it first like releases.
Okay, but,
in both spectrums.
Like to be clear, it's not that opinions can't change because obviously, my opinions have changed on many things, even related to Persona. But the problem is that you said
Initial reaction.
that
You're saying
initial
reaction
reaction.
is not genuine.
You're
Yeah,
saying
sure.
that was disappointment, and I don't know.
I mean it when I did feel disappointed about the things that I now, like with hindsight, can say are more important to the overall cutscene, and I did feel them deep in my man heart. Okay, but I obviously was voicing the stuff I loved about it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm gonna fix it on that because I think in the moment I will be more enthusiastic about a Persona 3 remake as a whole because it's like again it's Persona 3 remake. I mean I feel like I'm going in circles here, but that's really what I feel like.
Okay. Okay. So
Do you believe me, Screenmints? Do you think I'm lying? Do you think I'm lying? Do you think I really did not feel an ounce of disappointment when I first saw that cutscene?
I don't think you're okay. When you lie, that implies like an amount of like intent of like I know this isn't true and I'm gonna say it anyways, right? I think you may
Sure.
have at this point you may have changed your opinion. I believe that. I believe you have changed your opinion and you don't like it as much now or whatever. Um However, I think at this point you've believed that for so long you forgot how you felt when you originally saw it. I don't think that reaction is fake or like blocking out the parts you don't. I think if you really didn't like certain parts, that would show.
Well, I mean, you can argue it kind of does because again, when I see it, I don't mention like, "Oh my god, the sound design
Yeah,
is
but
so
like
good."
you're not
Or
gonna
I
sit
don't
there.
say,
I barely mention much about it. Like outside, in fact, I think most of the things I mentioned are. I know I say it looks really good and stuff, but like it's gonna be very general statements. You're not gonna be in the middle of the cutscene like, okay, here's my 12 paragraph analysis on this cutscene. So far, the sound design's been really good, or this has been really like. Obviously, you're not gonna have like a breakdown, okay, of
Sure.
everything you like or dislike about it, obviously. But I think your reaction will say something. You can definitely tell when somebody's reacting positively or negatively or neutrally or whatever when they see something like that. And yours didn't just feel like a positive reaction. Yours
Sure.
felt like the most positive reaction you can almost have.
I was having that to everything that happened in Persona 3 Reloaded because my favorite, again, remake my favorite game of all time at the time. But like if it's like any consolation to you, right? I understand how you can come to the conclusion you're saying, and it's like obviously I'm sure you believe what you're saying, but I'm telling you the truth. I know what I felt during that moment. I know what I focused on because I wanted to like it. I just and it's not like I just. Obviously, I'm gonna come off as more negative when I have to summarize my thoughts, like in the fucking this cringe character like limit on Twitter and stuff. But or even Discord messages, I guess he can say I was being hyperbolic. But I obviously meant in a point of comparison to the original, it's not as good in comparison to the original, I'd say it even sucks. But on its own merit, it's okay. It's
I
like
think
not
you
bad.
know
So
better.
I like
You
a lot of
hinge
stuff
all
about
your
it.
statements all the time. You know better than to say it sucks. You would always say it sucks in comparison. You would always make that clear.
I say it sucks because I am in a conversation. I'm gonna be more like in a real conversation, like I'm having like with my words out of my mouth. I'm gonna be more specific because there's just more nuance in actual like verbal discussion
Do we? Do
than
we?
there is like.
This all happened after Social Links episode 1. Did we talk about the awakening at all in that episode? In episode 1?
I think we might have. I think we might have. But I specifically mentioned that I think if you saw only reloads, you think it looks great, and I think yeah, that's probably not an unfair thing to say. It looks good on its own. It's just a point of comparison. But when I say it sucks, I obviously I you're right. I should be more specific. I can relinquish that. I should be more specific. But in the moment, I mean in comparison because it's a remake and remake, especially a remake that is very similar.
Oh
So
well, here
when
I just control F awakening. You want to go? You want to go hear what you said in the original episode? I actually
sure,
don't.
let's see.
Let's see. Let's see what you said here. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's Valentine's Day, everyone. We're gonna break up today.
The intent behind everything,
Yeah.
which is why you have cutscenes like the protagonist awakening, like looking weird, not like horrible necessarily. Like, on its own, it looks fine, but when in comparison to the original, just
Ah, God, I shouldn't have shown this clip. All right, edit this out of the final cut. Okay.
this guy.
Okay, fine. You did okay. Admittedly, in our episode, you did hinge it on looking good in comparison. I don't know why you wrote those tweets the way you did.
It's harder to like. I can't fit everything I want to say in a Twitter reply, and I could have, but I was being lazy. And you can even say, especially that when I said the P5X protagonist is better. That was in September. I don't know what the fuck was going through my head. I don't feel that way.
Well, like compared to like this, for example, right? Like, I would, oh, sorry, compared to this, I would just write, if I believe that, I would say, I think that its awakening cutscene is, like, much worse or sucks in comparison. Like, I would make that clear. This clearly reads like you hate it.
It's like I should have been more specific, but I meant as a point of comparison. When I mention like a lot of things about Reload that I don't like, typically it is from that lens of comparison because it's a very similar remake. But I should have hinged it. You're right. I should have been more specific. But there's a reason why you hear in an actual conversation with dialogue, I will be more specific.
Okay. It's not going to the Twitter clip, though. We're exposing you to the Twitter clip, okay? Everyone make sure, edit that out, okay?
Oh my lord.
Alright, look. Hey, look. Enough about Reload. We talked about how much we hated in the last episode, okay?
You know what I actually want to talk about?
What?
I want to talk about potential Persona 4 remake. That's what I really want to talk about.
Okay.
So we had all this talk about, Persona 3 Reload last time. And with Persona 4 remake, I have a lot of points of critique with Persona 4, okay? Lots of them, okay? And I think that there's a lot of potential for change in Persona 4, like a lot.
I agree.
I think people, maybe I'm being too critical. I need to play the game again, like in completion, to have more like in-tune thoughts. But I genuinely think the mystery part of Persona 4 isn't as well fleshed out as it could be, and I think a remake could add a lot more to that. A lot more. Like I mentioned Silent Hill 2 a lot because I'm playing it. I'm still playing through it right now. But Silent Hill 2 remake, it subverts the expectations of the player a shitload, but still keeps like this general story beats the same. I think a Persona 4 remake could benefit a lot from something like that, especially in like a mystery plot. I think that'd be really interesting to see. Just try and just remix. Like I don't even know. Like does that make sense? Like just remix it. Don't like do it. And I sound like I'm hating on Persona 3. Okay, I need this like like the fucking the Scarface theme. Okay, like where it shows how you're supposed to feel about the scene. Like in the bottom left, put a fucking smiley face in the bottom of that fucking screen right now with bold text on the top saying IncompetentC gave Persona 3 Reload a 10 out of 10 and loves the game. Okay? I hope they don't do what Persona 3 did. Persona 3. I'm gonna punch you in the face. Okay, I hope they don't do what Persona 3 Reload did, and I hope they go more different. I hope that they diverge more. I hope they generally remix more, not just with the gameplay, but with story, stuff like that too.
Okay,
I think
I agree. We talked about this in the Reload episode, how we wish it went further, and we hope that's what they do for Persona 4 remake. I think I kind of get what you're saying with the mystery thing, but elaborate. What would be a change you'd want to see to the mystery, for example?
Oh gosh.
Like not even to the mystery itself, but like the format or like whatever you're talking about. Because I could agree with what you're saying, but I don't know what you really mean.
Let's think about this. Okay.
A big critique of it.
This is gonna sound stupid, but I think they should lean more into the investigation aspect of things. Like Persona 4 has like investigation segments, but I think they're bad, and I think those should be completely reworked to be like, how do I even say it? Like, it sounds stupid, like maybe like LA Noir or something like that. Like I don't know, like it sounds a bit like transformative, like to an insane degree, but like actually have like moments like maybe ask like questions about people and like you have to like read their expressions, stuff like that. Make it feel like a real fucking investigation. Like lean into that investigative angle so much harder because they're called the investigation team, but it doesn't really feel like you do a whole lot of investigating in Persona 4. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, you do. For every target, you kind of have to go and you have to get info yourself. And that means talking to NPCs and asking certain questions and whatnot. I don't like those segments. Mostly because I don't know if they feel like that intuitive. Like I don't know if I ever felt like I was putting something together. I really just, especially because really you can get them done by just talking to every NPC, which is basically what you end up doing. It doesn't really feel super investigative. It just feels like, okay, I have to talk to every NPC and I just pick the right option until the game is like, you can go now. Okay, cool. I feel like,
you know what they should fucking do?
What?
Make you actually explore the TV world. Like you have to look for hints, like relating to like each person like who's in the TV.
I do like that you're doing them in the real world and kind of getting info to even explore it in the TV world, right? I do like that aspect of it, but the way it's done right now just feels really uninteresting. Like it's just I actually dislike them. Like I never liked those segments.
No, I agree. I don't like them either. That's what I'm saying. Like, should rework them.
Like, I wouldn't want it done. Like, Persona 5 has one of these segments in during the Futaba arc when you have to go get info in Futaba, but it's kind of it's kind of like the P4 ones, but just a lot quicker and more straightforward, so you just get it over quicker. I wouldn't want
Yeah.
it done like that because that just felt like a really easy, quick way of doing it, so it wouldn't be annoying, but it didn't feel really interesting either. Um, I I don't know. I like some sort of even. This is gonna sound kind of weird, but like having different like if there was something in the menu of like evidence or something, and you had to put together the evidence and kind of logically, almost like a puzzle, I guess, put things together, and be like, oh, okay, so she must be. Like I don't remember. I don't remember what you actually like. What the specific thing you need to complete the investigations in P4. But oh, okay, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. Okay, that means
Like
now this
generally,
is where
if
we
I
have to
remember
go in the
correctly,
TV
what
world,
you
right?
need is like something that Teddy needs to recognize descent by, something like that. I think that's what it is
Yeah.
generally. And I think that like go a step further. Like I think you should have to like like not interrogate, but like question like specific NPCs and like actually get like specific like you have to like actually read their expression. Like maybe like they'll say like for Resay for instance, like oh I don't know where she went, but you know I usually see her hanging around. I don't know like some location that represents her personality. Like what would represent like Resay's personality? Like well like her like shadow self. Like God I fuck
Her personality, her shadow self's personality. Her shadow
like
self's
something like
personality is
that. Like
really
some
horny.
like
So
okay, not a bad example then. Like I mean like okay, you know how Teddy needs like a hints like to go like smelling, right?
sure.
What if you need to like I'm saying like you get those clues like some clues that are indicative of like the things that Teddy would need, but instead of having Teddy just sniff them out, like you actually have to go exploring in the TV like in the foggy fucking mess of the TV world and look for like I don't know, like how would I even describe like something like maybe like what the fuck was that?
I got a text. Sorry. Continue.
Oh, okay. And maybe you'd have to like look through the fog and like look for things like fight enemies too, but like look for like hints in the fog world that like indicate like oh you're on the right path to this like specific like individual like how what's like the point of comparison here? Like fuck. Like I'm saying like you have like maybe markers along the way in like the TV world that lead you to where Risei's dungeon is having instead of having Teddy do all the work. Like be more involved with everything regarding investigation. Like you have to profile them, you have to figure out like what like represents them and like where and how you need to find that in the TV world, like shit like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think just more involved in the investigative process and have it actually be like a core part of the game would make it infinitely more interesting.
Sure. Sorry. Did you hear my cat? He's meowing.
I did hear it.
What come here, baby. What I think. I mean, I agree. Yeah, definitely. We kind of have different ideas of where they should go with it, but generally, I think we both agree that it should be definitely reworked, and it should be a much more important segment of the game. Right now, it feels like a thing that you have to get done, but it's not that engaging. It's not something you want. It should be like a part where it's like this is fun. I want to. Oh my god, yes, we have another target. I'm not just excited to do the dungeon. I'm excited to investigate. Right? That should be like it should be a focal point of like this is a very positive thing because nobody mentions it positively from what I understand. I don't think any P4 fan's gonna write home about it, and it should be like a not only a defining trait but something you enjoy doing. Okay, so that's one thing, sure, with P4
Yeah.
and a remake that should be redone. I think there is a lot as well that should be overhauled with P4, and it's not even in a negative way. I'm saying that. I'm just saying it in a way that's like there are a lot of things in P4 that I feel like maybe it's because it was built so hard off P3 or something, but it's lacking identity or maybe depth in some areas, and I feel like we could totally overhaul the game and give it so much more identity right now.
I absolutely agree. And the biggest thing, dungeons,
That's what I
right?
was
Like I
gonna
mean,
say.
like
Yeah, the
P4's,
dungeons. Yeah.
yeah, P4's dungeons like are bad. Like oh my god.
Give me 1 second. Keep talking, bro.
God, like I just feel like unironically, like it sounds stupid, and I know we're talking about giving the game identity, and this maybe sounds contrary to that. But if they literally just made them like P5 dungeons, I think that'd go a long way in making it feel a lot better. And Serena's muted, so now I'm gonna read chat, and we'll discuss this further when the moment he comes back.
Come here.
Oh, okay, never mind. He's here. I take it back. Chad, what do you think? Like, do you think they should just go the P5 route with like palaces and make like the dungeons really similar to that? Like, make them like huge, like symbolic, and like filled with puzzles that actually make sense, like P5s, instead of like the pseudo like Tartarus but worse like thing they have going on in P4 in P4.
Well, saying worse is that's going to be contentious. I actually might disagree a little bit, but actually it depends.
Really?
It depends. It's worse in some, better in others. I'm not going to get into it. I don't think they should do it like P5 in the sense of like, in the sense of like just doing palaces again. Um, I I think it should be expanded in the sense where, like, sure, it's similar to palaces in the sense it's very extensive now. It shouldn't just be like the hallways, the randomly generated stuff. But doing them exactly like palaces doesn't feel like the right solution either. There has to be some sort of middle ground or some sort of other idea. I feel like I've said it before, but now I don't know. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I've never thought
Maybe
about this
metaphor. I think you were talking. No, that's P6. You think the P6
Yeah,
should be like metaphors.
Yeah, well, Metaphor, they actually stole all those ideas from me. I was saying it before Metaphor came out, that what P6's dungeons should look like, and then it would just end up being Metaphor. So they watched the Scream and Stream for that one. I know that one. I know that much. For P4, like, to get rid of the random generation seems easy. I don't think it benefits P4 really much at all. Like, at least it fits P3 more.
I'd almost say it's antithetical to what the dungeons in that game are supposed to be about. Like, it just feels like there's like no point to them at all.
Like, at least in P3, Tartarus is this big tower, and there's not going to be these big differences in how they look or how they are. Like, P4 has it so, like, they are their own dungeons. You're not going into one big building, you're going into different places depending on the dungeon. So there's really no excuse for them to all look samey. I don't hate the idea of the dungeon gimmicks I did. But I felt like every single one of them sucked. I don't think I enjoyed a single one of P4.
Yeah, they were not executed well at all.
Some dungeons don't even feel like they really have much of one either. I think going bigger with those and actually making them good would be a start. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's so many easy ideas you could think of that would be so unique too. I mean, if they're built around, if this whole game is built around, truths and lies and the shadow self and whatnot, I mean, theme it more around the ruler. Let's learn more about the ruler while we're there. Because right now, the way the game does that is every time you enter a floor, sometimes you'll get, like, the ruler will say something, that will be related to their character, and you'll learn something about their shadow side. And that, like, why not implement this into the gameplay somehow, right? In Void Quest, which is game related, we could do little arcade-like minigames, right? Because it's kind of like a retro NES arcade-like looking dungeon. That has shit like that in there. You could do like you could do an RPG. You could do fucking anything. You could do multiple different things, right? There's so many different directions you could go with these unique, aesthetics, right? And play into them so hard because people are gonna think that they're like P5s, but they're not really the same. P5s have some constraints in the fact that the castle has to look like it has to be a castle. The museum has to be a museum, right? Like, there is still some sort of real life building or whatever, or a ship or whatever that it's like constrained to. The P4 ones don't really have that from what I understand. Like, sure, Yukiko's is a castle and whatnot, but like these are much more of like just like ideas, really.
Abstract.
Yeah, like
they should probably even lean. I'd say they should maybe even lean further into like the surrealist angle. No, like that would fit them a lot better. They don't have to be like necessarily cohesive with like some location like P5. Yeah, like you said.
Especially because the P5 ones are also supposed to literally represent. Like the castle is supposed to kind of have a similar layout to the school, but I don't know how much it sticks to that. And then some of them are so vague.
Like the gym is like one of them, like turning into like a cathedral, right?
I don't know how much the game sticks to that because by the time you get to like already Matarame's, it's a museum, it's a shack, but you never actually see the interior of it, so they can kind of do whatever the fuck they want. So it doesn't really stick to that too much.
To be fair, they do have that one area, like that one door with all the fakes, that like with all the like counterfeit paintings that he's only open in the real world. Like, they do have that one, like, consistency. I think the point of that one is obviously that he's like such a fucking big ego that fucking shack transforms into that fucking, massive, like, gaudy place, right?
Course, yeah. But yeah, I think there's just so many different ideas you can do, and like just expand upon these already kind of out there aesthetics. So yeah, we could do a stripping minigame for Resets, guys. It was so hype in Poggers.
Oh god, I don't know if we have to do all that.
right, guys? Right? But
I
no,
think that's just you, Screen. I think that's just you.
I think expanding upon that type of thing makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's just like the biggest like P4's dungeons and the way it handles investigation are like probably my biggest two issues with that. It's like overall story is like fine. Honestly, I just think I wish it was the investigation was presented in a much more active way. I think that'd go a long way.
Yeah.
Like like they have you like at late game, like you have to figure out like it's like you have to make that like statement like who's the traitor or like not the traitor, sorry, who's the killer, and like you have to they actually ask you like why don't they have more things like that where they have to actually ask the player like to like figure shit out, like actively engaging with the investigation. That's just be more investigative. And you know what? Step further. This is gonna sound stupid, but if Atlas really wants to fucking give like the P4 and 3 cast like the fucking outfits like the P5 cast have, why don't you give them like fucking like detective outfits? That'd be cool. Like if they have to do it, I don't think they should. To be clear, I don't think you should. But if you have to do it, uh, detective outfits like would go hard. Like that again, lean into the fucking noir detective angle. Like it feels like such a missed opportunity in P4 as a whole. You know?
Yeah. Something people do critique a little bit is that aspect that you mentioned, the fact that the mystery and putting it all together, it's kind of on rails with the story. Now to be fair, that's kind of just the type of game it is. It's not. I wouldn't really call it a detective game. You're not really putting together clues and shit, and like that's like the not the main interest of it. If you play a detective game, even a game like Danganronpa has more involved investigations and like putting together evidence.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call
Yeah.
P4 a game like that. Um, that being said, I mean, yeah, they could still lean into that more. I mean, by the time you have to pick the killer, it's they could only be one person, right? Um,
Yeah. Nanako.
yeah. So, and at that point, it's just like, okay, well, it's Nanako. Let's go get her out there. Let's go throw her on the TV. So I don't know why. I feel like pulling something back or putting it together in a way where it's not just like outright explain. Like even you can even do it this way the story's set up right now. There's still like a bunch of reasons why we believe Adachi is the killer before we even go and talk to him, and he lets the uh
We all knew
Namatame's the one putting them
Namatame, so
all
when he
in.
put them all in.
Yeah, right? Even
Yeah.
before that, there's a bunch of reasons we go and confront him in the first place. Putting together those reasonings yourself rather than Naoto literally just outright explaining them, that could be one thing, right?
I just P4 feels like a game that like doesn't really. You're right. It doesn't try to be a detective game, but I don't know if it necessarily has to like be one, but it should lean. I think it should definitely lean more into those aspects, like because it's like that's what it kind of like. It's a mystery, and when you're not really involved with solving that mystery, it feels like it just feels like a normal story at that point. Like maybe like it's fun for the player themselves, like maybe thinking ahead, oh, I wonder who did it. But there's no real gameplay like feedback on that. You
There
know,
isn't.
it's the very end at that point where you already know.
I do think it's by design. I mean, the game is definitely an RPG before anything. I don't think the investigation stuff is supposed to be a big point of it. Like, I don't think it's supposed to be a big selling point or supposed to be a big thing. It's kind of just like the story is a murder mystery. That's about the size of it. It's almost like you're watching a murder mystery TV show. Like, it's just supposed to kind of follow, and like you're wondering as you're going on, oh, who could it be? But like, you're pretty much there for the ride. You're not there to be involved in it too much, I don't think. But leaning into that could prove to be beneficial, yeah.
I think that helped it a lot. Like I don't know, like Persona is known for a series that does a balancing act with its like social mechanics and its dungeon crawling mechanics. So who's to say you can't meld that investigative aspect and that social aspect into one with still maintain like the dungeon crawling like shit, you know? Like I think it could still absolutely work. Like that's just a good opportunity for the team to inject their own vision, you know? Because I think that's the thing the original team like missed out on. I think that's just like something that is like begging to be just again expanded upon. Like it just feels like it's necessary, not necessary, but very beneficial to what Persona 4 is.
Yeah.
I like Persona 4, by the way. Despite what I always say, I think the game is good. I just don't like as much as 3 and 5. But I think if they lean harder into what it like into that noir aspect, I could see it being a better contender if they do. Also, make it so it ends at Adachi. And that's like a big change, but I think they should.
Oh shit! We could do a whole thing on this. I feel very passionately about that.
Like Nyx is like a perfect god antagonist because it's like built up the entire fucking game, like it's perfect. P5 fucking amazing, yelled about like about control, about like very antithetical, and it's about like what the game's trying to say, like just like have everything like fixed from the start, like obviously perfect, built up from the fucking beginning. Fucking cinema. Izanami is a gas station employee who gives you your persona and Adachi's persona, and shows up from once to the end of the game.
It's a little reductive.
Like-
I mean, thematically, it still makes sense, but I
Thematically, it makes sense, but like I'm saying, it doesn't have the same build up that 3 or 5 have to their god antagonists.
like, that one, even if you just watch back the scenes before the boss fights or whatnot, like the level of intrigue there doesn't really. So here's the thing: all the god fights was kind of supposed to encapsulate thematically the game. 3 does this really well in the sense that Nyx basically represents death. Yaldabaoth is pretty much the same. Yaldabaoth represents, I guess, in a way, the will of the people. And also kind of throws in the deadly sins that make up humanity and all these different things.
Yeah. Very, like, pessimistic view on humanity.
Yeah, like, both of those gods only exist because of these concepts, right? Izanami is, I guess, the same, but the problem with Izanami is, like, if you just watch the scene there, so we're all 3 gods are retreading themes that the game's already been about, right? So you have to add another layer now to make it interesting, basically. Because we're basically retreading kind of the same territory with a different lens. P3 does this because it's the final battle, right? So that's arguably, not arguably, it is the most important part of the game. It's easily where the stakes are at their best. Like, even P3's biggest critics will always admit the last 5 hours of the game are great. P5 does it by giving you you kind of call it a moral dilemma by choosing to side with Yaldabaoth, but he's pretty obviously in the wrong by his execution. But he represents the people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Mementos has been the whole thing. Why the people do what they do, why they believe what they believe. That's been a whole theme. So now we literally have basically the manifestation of, I guess, the people's wishes, right?
Yeah, like the wish, like for like the status quo and conformity and shit like that, right? Like that. They're obsessed with, like, they love that. Yeah, and like Yaldabaoth embodying that just makes a lot of sense, right? And Izanami embodies something that the game is, like, about as well, like the whole thing about, like, seeking truth and how, like, Izanami is, like, saying, oh, but it's so much more convenient to, like, accept the fog and, like, just live with, literally just live with the fucking bullshit because it's more what people want, right? It's just, and I think Izanami works very well thematically. It's just,
well, yeah, it retreads those same themes in the same way the other ones do, but I think my problem with it is, like, there is still something you have to do to make it interesting, and, like, in P4s, if you go watch back that scene, the pre-boss fight and whatever, it really does kind of just feel like they're just extrapolating the theme outright to you again, and, like, and this is probably my biggest problem with it. The investigation team have, like, so little retort, basically, outside of it being bad. They're like, oh, Izanami bad. Bad. No, this is what we've been fighting for the whole time. And it's like, sure. I just kind of wish we got a little bit more than that. Like, I don't think there was really that much, like, of intrigue with Izanami, really. Tying it together with the gas station thing is kind of cute, but
like, the big thing is, like, in, like, P5, like you mentioned, like, they don't really have like a cohesive retort, but, like, in P5 the retort is that the people don't wish for that. Like, you have to just inform the people, and they really don't want to be ruled over, like, accept the status quo. You just have to tell them. That's why I like the gauge, like, at the end with the fan site, like, everyone believes in the Phantom Thieves and stuff like that. It just, like, it's so, like, P5, like, does a really good job of addressing, like, a counterclaim to what the god antagonist provides. And P3 also does a very good job, like, about how, like, they'll keep on moving in spite of, like, the looming threat of death, and, like, again, that's very important to Persona 3's thesis. But Persona 4, like, as you say, they just say, like, oh, lying bad, absolute cinema. Like, they don't really have like a game thing in the game that really retorts what the god antagonist says,
but my big problem, I think, is when people or sorry, not people, when games kind of just point towards themes and ideas more than showing us an execution of that, right? I talked about this a lot in Persona 1, where I feel like that game did that a lot, and there just should have been more to a lot of, even the biggest climaxes in the game felt like they were more so doing that than, like, really substantively giving me a lot to latch onto. And I feel like the Izanami thing kind of falls into that same category. Like, they point to a lot of themes, and these themes have been present throughout the game, and they're great. And yeah, the Izanami is bad, but, like, it just, there isn't enough, like, to really latch on to be like, wow, this is really interesting. Like, and I don't like Marie for very different reasons, but I don't like that arc either. So the last 2 arcs of the game bring very, very hollow to me, I guess. I do think the game should have ended
like the
on a
Hollow
dot
Forest.
sheet if those were the last 2 arcs. Oh my god, true. A dungeon theme's good, at least. Give him that.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I need to say right now, full disclosure, I have not played the Marie arc, and I will get to it one day, Copium. But I did not like Marie. I'll say that much. I think I just found her very annoying. But maybe she gets better. Screen doesn't seem to think so, and I doubt that she does. But who knows?
My big problem with Marie.
Actually,
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
My
No,
big
no, you
problem
can
with
take it.
Marie is that I think her social link is really like cringe. Like I just they need to give everyone a reason to care about Marie. It's funny that you'll see a lot of people argue Kasumi was forced into P5R, but I actually think her inclusion was pretty well done. I think my biggest issue with Kasumi's inclusion was just that like it's really important at the beginning of the Maruki arc, and then it kind of stops being important after the first half, or at least in like the forefront. With Marie, I actually don't like her inclusion. I feel like it's much more forced. For starters, I don't even think she's pretty much thrown into many story cutscenes at all, really. And maybe this is because she's a Velvet attendant, but already her inclusion just doesn't. She doesn't really feel that important. But her social link is what's supposed to kind of make up for that. It's supposed to give basically every member of the investigation team a reason for caring and knowing Marie or whatever. And I think it's done in the most forced way possible, and I don't like it. And there's maybe some funny things in there, but I don't think it's like a very natural or well done build. Yeah.
Yeah. That if what you're saying is true, and I trust
So
that it is, that sounds really
like
stupid.
it's already like I'm like okay, I already like don't care about the build here, and then once we get to the arc itself, I don't really care that much about Marie. So I don't. Yeah, and then the way they try to tie her into the all the god stuff, and I'm just like okay, but I don't. None of it really hits for me at all. I just don't. I don't care. I just don't care. Story wise, I just don't care about it.
On the same topic, like, well, not Marie, but Persona 4. In chat, Mr. Reload says thoughts on Amano Sagiri. And I actually have something interesting about this. I don't see why there had to be a gap between Amano Sagiri and like Izanami. I think it actually make more sense if it was like in P5, right? How the Holy Grail turns into Yaldabaoth. It's the same thing, right? Why don't you just do that with Amano Sagiri and Izanami? Like, it feels like that gap is honestly just makes the game.
I don't think
Go ahead.
Amino and Izanami are the same thing, right?
No, not technically lore wise, but like, I mean, it feels like a change that would benefit the game. No, like, I
Well,
mean,
like Yaldabaoth makes a lot of sense to be the Holy Grail. Um, just because of like what the Holy Grail is and represents. I don't know if it works the same way for Amino and Izanami.
I mean, it could make a story change to accommodate that. It's just like
Yeah, but
I
like
don't know.
these are concepts. They're kind of based off like real life shit, right?
That's
Sorry,
true.
not
Not
real
like
life shit, but like you know,
mythology,
yeah.
mythology. You're right. That's not wrong. You're true on that. It's just for pacing, it feels weird that like, oh, Amano Sagiri was like the one puppeting Adachi. Like, obviously Adachi still did everything he did, but like it was like the embodiment, like using him as an avatar, whatever.
Yeah, it's kind.
But
I don't have that much of an issue with that. I think my biggest problem is I just don't like Amino Sagiri himself. Like, I guess the design's okay.
It looks cool. It's just like it makes it like it's like you have that god antagonist and you have the fucking other one like right after. Like, what the fuck? Like, I just feels like you're stuffing the game at that point. Like, it feels like the fog should dissipate with Adachi. Does that make sense?
Um. Yeah, I mean it's just like another kind of sense of a god representing like a theme or something. Like in the sense that it's puppeting Adachi. Like it's kind of the sense that it represents the concepts that Adachi kind of plays into, I guess, to put it simply. Um, but it does feel like the least interesting to me. I just don't really care about I don't know Sagiri Amino Sagiri itself. I mean, it's okay, it's all right. I do think Adachi was like here's how to put it right.
Yeah.
P Persona 5 had like a Shido fight and the Akechi fight and all that, and those were big antagonists that were built for a long time. And they had all of their kind of screen time at once, and you do their fights and you do the thing, and then you kind of get to sit back. So by the time Yaldabaoth comes, it's not really stealing any screen time or thunder or like making it feel less impactful. I do think that happens to Adachi. Adachi shows up, you fight him. His fight's pretty easy. And then
Another thing. Fix his
then-
AI, by the way. Like, make him actually a hard fight in the remake.
Oh
They
yeah,
won't, but they
I
should.
think there's a lot of
There-
coding issues with P4. Like half the characters just don't even use half the enemies don't
And
even
it's
use those skills they're supposed to. Adachi might fall
and, like,
under that. I don't remember.
I think Adachi like has like issues like is yeah, his like AI. I don't think he targets properly or something like that. I remember like hearing about it a while ago.
But like Adachi, which is funny because this is the killer that we've been chasing the entire fucking time. You fight him, it's over, and then we go right into Amanasagiri. And it's like, whoa, we didn't have much time to let this sit at all. I'd have more of an issue. I do like all the I do like that arc. I do think the Adachi arc's really strong, and I do think it has a good ending.
Agree.
And I like all the stuff Amanasagiri says. But like when I say I don't care about Amanasagiri itself, it's just like I don't. I think it would have felt more impactful if it was just all Adachi, and then we could reveal the Amanasagiri stuff maybe a little bit later. I don't know exactly, but it just feels like Adachi has less impact because this is a big moment and it's over so quickly, and then we're boom right into Amanasagiri.
Yeah, exactly, right? And it almost like kind of undermines like him as an antagonist to an extent because like he is the killer, to be clear, but it feels like when like you just make it Amanasagiri, like you kind of take away from like a lot of Adachi's like looming presence throughout the game. I don't know, like it feels like it could have just been handled in a much better way. And I don't know, maybe don't know the exact way it could be done better, but it just feels like there's an opportunity. At least fucking try something a bit different with that ending segment with like Amanasagiri, Adachi, and Izanami. I feel would that would help, right? Like, I have a lot of issues with P4, and that is to say, if they do a P4 remake that is ridiculously faithful and it doesn't change much, I'm gonna be disappointed. I think.
Music's good. Music's very good in
Yeah,
all
I
those
was gonna say
segments.
Almighty is a banger.
Music's
Oh, I
great.
love that one. So is the Fog. Oh my god, fucking banger track. You think they're gonna you think what's his name? Kichijo's gonna be on P4 remake as well?
That's a good question. I hope not.
I hope it's Kozuka because I think he can handle some of those.
He's the
things, like those
goat.
boss themes especially.
He's the
I
goat.
think Kozuka
He's
can
coming for
absolutely
Megura's
handle
throne,
remixing those
okay?
boss themes.
He's very good.
Like Kozuka like does a good job at like those like intimidating boss themes really well, and I think like things like the Fog and like the Almighty would be perfect in his hands. You know? Also make the Genesis better. Like it's like 7 minutes long, and like the only part I like is like the end. Like Persona 4. I'm just joking. But I also think that in a remake there's a lot like what do we think about this? Do you think they should I think they should up the Fog, like just do more with the Fog, like volumetric like shit. Like this is just a purely graphical thing, but like I think you can do really cool fog effects nowadays.
Oh well.
Like the tech is like absolutely there.
P4 Vanilla had really good fog effects, and then Golden got rid of all of them.
I hear that. Yeah, I haven't played the original, but like I've seen comparisons every now and again. It seems like they really did fuck it. I feel like they should take cues from the original then in that respect, right? Like just try to make the fog like actually like imposing
I mean,
and have a
it
big
feels
presence.
like it was almost done out of necessity because there's no way that was a conscious decision, right? To be like, yeah, we need to get rid of all this fog. It's like, no, right? There's no way. It was probably, my guess would be something with like the different engine or the different platform it was on or something. But there's a mod
Maybe
on
like
PC to
it was on the
restore it.
PS.
But,
Yeah.
like the original P4 had a much better aesthetic because of how, one, the quantity of fog, and two, just like all the area, like just how vast it was. Like it was just in so many different areas. The dungeons looked better, the overworld looked better, just everything looked so much better. And in Golden, they're almost entirely gone. Yeah, that's one thing that should absolutely make its way into the remake. But I don't even think it was a decision to remove it from Golden. It was, my guess would be something. It had to be something technical. There's no way it was a decision.
I probably agree. I think it'd make more sense if it was something on the technical side of things. You know what? Another conversation about remake. UI. I think they should lean into the. I also mentioned like the noir angle. Another angle they should also lean way harder into the TV angle. Like it feels like UI wise, especially, there's a lot of potential there for a lot of cool visual effects they could do in like UI. Like I don't know, like I'm not a UI designer, but like I think like an interface like transitions, for instance, could like you take cues from like the TV, like I don't know, like maybe like this like static or like the that one like I don't know what it's called. Like, you know, like when the TV like displays a shitload of colors, though, right? Like all like the colors of the rainbow and shit. Like the color display. I think like transitions involving stuff like that could also be really cool. Like P4's like own logo has like that whole like rainbow thing going on, and some of the menus in the original as well. I hope they don't just try making it like P3 remakes in the sense like they like I don't know like maybe like just use like the piss effect or something. They won't, but if they did, I'd be really upset about that. But I don't think they will. I think they should absolutely take more cues from the original P4 though for the UI. I think that'd be really cool. What do you think, Spoon?
I mean, I agree. Yeah, obviously they're probably almost actually they're certainly gonna do a stylistic type of UI. That's obviously just this is like an Atlas across the board just thing now. I feels like
Yeah,
just
like
having
every game they make recently.
having a big stylish UI. These things go viral. They're like there's websites, there's articles written about it. Like there's always these incredible they're like seen as these incredible feats. Like it's just never at this point going away. I don't think. I think UI is going to be like a big point for Atlas going forward. Obviously the P4 remake is definitely going to follow suit. Yeah, something TV based would be cute. That seems like a no brainer. No, yeah.
I remember I saw recently like a mock-up that was like done by a fan for the P4 like a fan made like P4 remake trailer or whatever, and they use the caution tape a lot in like the UI, and I think that's actually something really cool. Like it feels like you should do more with that. I think that's a really cool idea. Like the caution, like it's again like a it's like a mystery, like murder mystery. You know, it feels like using elements like that would also go a long way. Like make it feel like it in terms of the UI and shit, right? Like this feels like a no-brainer at that point. Also, add the fucking Yosuke romance. Atlas, we fucking want it, okay? Like that is the one thing I need in a Persona 4 remake. I need to romance my bro, all right? That's like the most important shit in the world.
Oh yeah, true. They could actually implement. I don't. You know what? My guess would be they won't though.
I don't think they will either, but they should. They should, and I really want them to. I actually saw like recently. I don't know how true this is. Fuck. What did I see this on? It was like the other day. I think I saw someone like mention they saw Yuri Lowenthal like at convention, and oh yeah, I saw this one too. This one was really cool. I reposted this one. Really well done. Someone on TikTok like posted this like without like credit or like they credited the name but not like a link or anything, and that made me mauled a little bit. This one was cool too, though. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is a really nice UI. Yeah. I wouldn't mind something like this.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Oh, sorry, what's the same thing? Someone like saw Yuri Lowenthal at a convention, and they said that if he was he said apparently I don't know how true this is, but he said apparently to the person he was talking to at the convention that if he was recast in a potential P4 remake, he would push for the Yosuke romance. And I have to say, if that's true, what a fucking man! That's what he should be fucking doing.
How much bearing do English voice actors have over that type of stuff, though?
I don't know, but I'd imagine it's more nowadays than it was then. That's for sure, right? Like,
especially
American
because
audiences
they do same day releases now. They wait.
Yeah,
for
like that's like why like P3R like took like as long as it did to come out because they wanted to make it simultaneous, and the same like in the answer as well, and the same thing with P6 allegedly, apparently, if that's really to be believed, it's like probably just in localization right now. It just feels like there's so many interesting things to talk about with the Persona 4 remake. Like a lot of people on Twitter don't want it. I don't think it needs it, but I feel like a lot of people misinterpret like the fact like I want a Persona 4 remake, but I don't think it needs one. Like as much as I shit on the game, its issues wouldn't be necessarily remediated with a remake. It's just cool to have one. Like it's cool to see a new take on it in the modern day. Like what if they do with modern resources and stuff like that? Not necessarily making it the default or the better way to experience it. It's just interesting seeing that same idea tackled from a different lens, you know? And a lot of people really like see it as like all or nothing. Like some people see it like, oh, you think of it as a replacement, and that's why it's cringe to want one. Or the alternative, like, oh, you think the old game is better because of nostalgia, which is obviously cringe and stupid. Like it's just they're two different games at the end of the day, right? Or they're going to be two different games at the end of the day. That's just remake discussion in general. It's always kind of cooked, right?
There was a state of play recently. I think it was 2 days ago.
Yeah, there was one. P6 was there. Wasn't that crazy how they
that was
P6
actually crazy how they announced it, and there's now this
I
like
didn't think they
trailer
would.
and everyone's talking about it, and yeah.
You know what? There's this one game I like that I saw from there. I forgot what it was called, but apparently it's like actually a hack and slash. I made a joke about it, like being pissed off it was a Souls-like, and it's not a Souls-like. That makes me so fucking happy. I don't like Souls-likes.
You're a cock.
I want more hack and slashes. I want more hack and slashes.
This guy's never played a Souls-like. Okay, don't let him trick you. Okay, this is like the awakening thing again. Okay, don't listen to him.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. What's up? Continue.
Where do you think? So, what do you think is like next for Atlas right now? You think like what is like the next announcement? Because I mean P6, I'm pretty locked into it being at the summer conference, right, for Xbox.
Yeah.
The June conference coming up. What do you think? Do you think they're announcing anything before that? Anything for Atlas at all?
I think if they announce anything, it would be a Raito or DDS port. I don't see them doing any like high profile like new games like that are like anything beyond ports at this point. I just think it'd be like P6 is like, don't get me wrong, Atlas had a stack. Like, I would have not predicted Atlas having a stack the years they did last year, like dropping Vengeance, Reload, and Metaphor all in the same year. That was pretty crazy to me. They just blew their fucking load. But I really do think P6 is the kind of blockbuster that doesn't really need other games like cannibalizing its success. So I think if we see there's only gonna be one high-profile Atlas release beyond the remasters, and it's gonna be P6. I think that's just a no-brainer. What do you think though? And yeah, I agree with you. It's probably gonna be at the summer show, like one of the summer shows. Probably Xbox.
If you think they're doing Raito and DDS, where do you think it's gonna be announced? Do you think it's gonna be like at a conference or just like a Twitter drop? Like, what do you think?
I think it'll probably be it might be in even the same conference that P6 has announced that. But
really?
like I think they tackle different audiences to the point where it's like they're not really cannibalizing anything. Like they're obviously much more niche games, right? Like they'll still probably perform okay, but they're gonna be probably like what price, like at $20 and maybe a bundle or something. It'll be like cheap and they won't take away from like the eyes that would be on Persona 6. Like everywhere, and it was only gonna be talking about P6, obviously, right? That's obviously the big like investment for Atlas this year. I think in terms of announcement, I don't think it's gonna come out this year, but it's gonna be definitely. I think it's definitely gonna be announced at the same place. That's what I think.
I think, let's say, okay, so I said that Persona 6 would be at the summer showcase for Xbox, but that's not the only place it could be announced. It could be at the Switch 2 showcase that's coming up in April.
Oh, it could. You know, they might actually announce those Metaphor, like allegedly, those Metaphor ports that are going to be coming out in like the
I mean, I
P3
feel like if
port.
it's going to be on Switch 2, they'll probably put it somewhere in there.
Yeah, I actually think a no-brainer at that point because they're recent releases, you know?
Yeah, and Metaphor's like pretty big.
Yeah, Metaphor did really well. Oh my god, like fast-selling Atlas game ever, you know? It's crazy. I feel like, yeah, the Switch, they're probably, but I don't think they're going to have a big presence at that Switch, so maybe the Raito games would be there, maybe, but I do think they'll have, like, Atlas will obviously have some kind of presence at Switch 2, because the Switch 2, like, one of the biggest marketing points of that one, I think, is the backwards compatibility. Yeah, like, it's going to have a lot of games from last gen. It's going to have a lot of the same support, probably enhanced ports and stuff like that. That's going to be a lot of what Switch 2 banks on, because it's so similar to the Switch 1, you know?
I agree with you that I think we'll probably get Raito or DDS or both before P6. I don't know where. It could be at Switch 2. I don't know. Otherwise, it could be at Xbox. It's really hard to say. The fact that the State of Play had literally nothing again was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's just State of Play at this point, though. I mean, who really expects, like... Yeah. I actually thought Bloodborne would be there, because I just...
Yeah, I argued hard against you. The fact you thought Bloodborne would be at the State of Play? No shot. It's never happening.
It's like not even a Kofium thing, because I don't care about Bloodborne. I don't care if it gets a re-release or report or whatever the fuck. I just think it makes sense, given how hard they've been going at like taking down Bloodborne stuff lately, and it was like lining up at the State of Play. I just thought it made sense, but
I don't think they're related.
It's not. Well, clearly not, because they didn't announce it, or maybe they are related and it happens later down the line. Who fucking knows?
But I think if anything, they probably took it down because there's a big interest right now in emulating Bloodborne. Like that'd probably just be it. Probably it's more popular than it's ever been.
That's probably true. Like, I mean, emulation's like near perfect now, I think.
I don't know.
Shad PS4 went a long way. I wouldn't know. I don't emulate games because I think that's a crime and that's cringe, and I hate emulating.
People who emulate should be publicly executed in town square.
I agree. Actually, yeah. That's anyone here has emulated. We don't want you to leave. And their families, yes, because they're implicit. I mean, they know. They just let it happen.
And their friends.
And their friend. You know what? And the people who live with them, like same neighborhood. You know, why not just extend it to the same city? Anyone who's ever lived in the presence within 50 feet of someone who's emulated a video game, I think they just have to go.
Sorry, we're working really hard to get jobs in Nintendo right now. But like, yeah, I think Persona 6 is at the very least. I think that's on the horizon. That'll be a big moment.
Oh, we're gonna, dude, we're gonna be swinging the fuck out when that happens.
I'm
socially upset about that.
But I don't even know. I don't even know how what. It'll be a big moment. I can't even process it. Like you thought it'd be at Game Awards, which was funny.
I really did. I thought that P6 was locked in a 2025 release. It just made sense to me in the moment, but I guess not, which is kind of crazy to me. I really thought it'd be 2025, but I don't know. It just felt like it made sense. I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought we'd get a teaser or something at least, right? Like I don't
know. We got P5X. Oh, when the fuck do you think P5X is getting worldwide? Like at this point, it seems like never. Like I don't.
Yeah, they're taking so long with that for some reason. I don't even know why. Like, I feel like if you wait this long, you're gonna kill the interest in it by the point like it actually happens, right? Like, people were thinking it was gonna happen at TGA because
I thought it was gonna be TGM.
the website updated. Like that's what happens like before like the announcement typically,
True,
but
yeah.
nothing happened, which is really weird. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, is it gonna be at the same show at P6? That feels dumb. No one is gonna be talking about P5X if it happens the same show as P6. That's just, oh, I think that's pretty safe to guess. Yeah.
That's a hard one actually. Gotcha games are really big. People love them.
They are, but like, I mean,
Like for example, if they do like Persona 6 coming 2026 and then P5X coming right now, it's World War tomorrow, it's coming. Like I don't know, it might not hurt it too much.
they might maybe they're just waiting to the point like they can like do like a hot drop like that, like announce it, like right before it comes out, you know? Um, maybe be at a summer show. Like it just feels weird because I don't like gotcha games. They are on consoles, but they're not usually most successful on consoles, you know? So it just feels weird if it happened on like an Xbox show or something.
It does.
Maybe
That is true.
when's like the PC gaming show? Like I know they have like their own like show. Maybe like because
Was
P4G
that
was right
tied to
there.
E3? Is that like ever
Fuck.
coming back? I don't know.
I don't know actually. I thought it split off into its own thing like
I have
a bit after.
no idea. I don't think I've ever watched one.
Oh, that reminds me. You see, like they're making like the sequel to E3. Did you see that?
Yeah, I think it's next year.
Like, no, like this year, like a spring conference or something like that. It's something
I thought it
along
was
those lines. I think.
2026.
Am I brain dead? I swear it was 2025.
What's it called?
I
Do you
have to
remember the
check.
name?
I don't remember. It was like an acronym. That's why, like, cringe name. I mean, E3 is an acronym too, but it's only two. Um, fuck.
It was hold on. I'll find it. Here we go. It was Icon.
Icon. Is it this year? I'm pretty sure it's this year, isn't it?
Let me like pull this up on the monitor here. ESA announces Interactive Innovation Conference Icon taking place in Las Vegas, April 27th to 30th. Pitches an essential convening for change across multiple industries. Companies include whatever. 2026.
No Sega.
I mean, if Xbox will Xbox be there? We got
Oh, it's 2026. Oh, it is 2026. Okay, I'm brain dead. I thought it was 2025.
this page literally won't load. This is like a broken link. Okay, nice.
Well, sequel to E3 is cool nonetheless. But I don't know what the fuck they show there. Maybe P6 apparently has DLC that's like already slated to drop. There's a lot of leaks I've seen. I don't know how true they all are, but
Apparently,
wouldn't surprise
one
me
of
if P6
Xbox's
does.
people, they didn't express enthusiasm for it. So
What's even gonna? I don't even know if I can plan that far ahead. What would even be revealed at a 2026 show for Atlas?
I have no fucking idea.
SMT6? Like I feel like maybe that would be
Maybe,
like
yeah,
semi
that's
likely.
possible.
It's been a good amount of time. Vengeance was really successful. Like it feels like I think the SMT series is like guaranteed to get. It's like not as successful as Persona, but I think it's like guaranteed like sequels like how Persona is at this point. So it wouldn't surprise me if we got something like that in 2026.
Can I ask you an unrelated question?
What's up?
I feel like it was Valentine's Day. We kind of skipped over the most important topic of the day.
You're so right. You're so right. We actually did.
Who is your favorite romance in Persona 3 to 5?
Out of so like you want me to pick out one from three of those games?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
gosh.
one from each game.
Oh, one from each game. Okay, easy fucking money. Persona 3, I guess. Persona 4. Persona 4. Naruto. Persona 5. Persona 5's the hardest one.
There's a lot of they got a lot of bad bitches in P5. I'll say that much.
P5 is like an impossible pick. Let's just say, for the sake of getting this one out of the way, I'm gonna lean hard here on Goro Akechi. No,
Can't do it. He can't do it.
it's so hard. It's so tough. Kawakami. P5 Kawakami. I'll lock in Kawakami. P5.
Oh my god, he's doing the teacher. Alright, well, my picks, right? For P3? P3 is actually really hard, I won't lie.
P3 is easy as fuck for me. I don't know
Between
about
two,
you.
Yukari and Mitsuru are both really cool. How to pick one though? Probably. Man, I've been like a Yukari bro for so long, but honestly, I might go Mitsuru. I might switch
In
over.
romance Yukari in your first.
I
in your
did.
P3 arc
I've
playthrough.
always been a Yukari guy, but you know what? Recently, Mitsuru has I think she wins now. I saw that Arena Ultimax outfit she got, and I just haven't turned back. Um,
uh.
4 seems
Oh, did
easy.
you know? Wait, hold on. It's completely unrelated. I just need to get this out of the way right now, though. You mentioned Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I was reading a review from not a review, an interview with Kazuhisa Wada. Apparently, Persona 3 Remake, they were considering it since Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, since they brought back the P3 characters. I didn't even know that. That's crazy to me.
I guess that's not too surprising.
I just like a spin off like that is what birthed Reload. That's just or like at least the talks of Reload. It makes sense though. I guess they brought him back, so I guess it means to be discussed in the team again. Sorry, continue. What were you saying?
P4 is easy. P4 is Naoto, obviously. Obviously Naoto.
Hey!
Obviously
All
Naoto.
right.
And then P5, Takemi. Takemi is just the best ever.
Kami
She's
is
just the goat.
cool. Kawakami, I've always had a preference. I've always been drawn more to.
You know what it is about Takemi? It's that the voice they gave her in Royal was the better voice. Okay, that melts my heart. Okay, she sounds just tired enough, but just like she just seems cool to be around. I don't know. She wants to kill
does
herself,
seem
and I like that about her.
Yeah, you relate.
Yeah.
I mean, she's cool. I like Kawakami a lot. I'm very partial to Kawakami. I like the teacher angle. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. P4 Naruto. I like Naruto because she's like I don't know, like she's just like she's probably like the smartest in the party. That's like undeniable. Yeah, like she's definitely the smartest in the investigation team. Is that true? Do you think?
Obviously, yeah. I'd say so.
Yeah. Like I think I like her because like one of my issues with P4, it feels like that cast is like a little stupid. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because it leads to fun antics. But
Can I ask you a question about that?
what's up?
When Naoto knew that she was probably gonna get captured by Namatame, okay, because the killer rings doorbells or whatever, right? Why didn't you just
Yeah.
set up a camera outside her house?
Because that game was written by hack fucks. Okay,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, nobody has an answer for this, okay? Nobody's ever had an answer for this because there is no answer.
I don't know why she wouldn't. Like, if she's a detective. Like, she's like actually like it. If it was anyone else, it makes sense. But she's actually probably the most qualified to like do what she can to catch the killer. Like, I don't know why the fuck she didn't.
That would have been the easiest slam dunk in like the history of anything, okay? I don't know why she didn't do it. That should have been easy. I mean, to be fair, it wouldn't have mattered that much because you would have seen Namatame, who isn't actually the killer. But still would have like given them something, right? And obviously she doesn't know that, so yeah, the game is unplayable. Okay.
Yeah, truth, nuke. I've been saying this for a long time, but no one seems to agree with me.
I had an argument.
You know,
recently. Oh god. Go ahead.
We should. Okay, now next question. Best boy in each Persona game. Come on, let's go. 3 to 5. So Persona 3, I'll start. Persona 3, Junpei, easy fucking money, obviously. Persona 4, Kanji, again another fucking easy W for him. And Persona 5, Goro. Fuck, it's Akechi or Maruki. Let's say Akechi. Yeah, third one's Akechi. So yeah, 3 Junpei, 4 Kanji, 5 Akechi. What about you, Scream?
Wait, hold on. Were we picking? Hold on. We're gonna have to back up then.
Okay.
Back to P3 then. Hold on.
Sure.
Back to P3 girls. If we're counting non-romanceable characters, then it's Sayori from the fantasy route. Okay.
Oh, I don't know much about her, but
That is
I
my
assumed
queen.
we were.
Okay, until death.
Well, in like it's harder in P5 because like there is no male romances in any of the games. That's why I like narrowed, but I didn't like make best boy that specific.
Okay, we'll do for best boy in each game. Gotta be Akihiko for P3. Okay.
He's like my second favorite. I feel you. He's really good in that game.
P4 gotta be Kanji.
Hey.
P5 gotta be Akechi.
Why do we argue so much? We agree about so many things. Like again, I don't understand like why we like yell at each other like for the majority of the what?
P4 might be Yosuke.
You're such a cuckold. Never fucking mind. I'm gonna argue with you until the fucking day I die, asshole. Jesus fuck. Why? I don't hate Yosuke, but like over Kanji?
Yosuke is the goat, dude.
I like Yosuke. I don't hate him, but Kanji just feels like he's so much, dude. Like he's the funniest fucking character in that game, like by far. Kanji, he's fucking hilarious, man. Like
I don't know. Yosuke gets a run for his money.
dude, that fucking scene where Kanji like just completely throws Yosuke under the bus, like when he's talking to Rise, that scene is funny as fuck.
There's a lot of
he
good
was going
memes.
on about you, her long legs, her posture, her form, and like just like completely like ripping into Yosuke. That was funny as fuck, man.
Yeah, because I started Innocent Sin recently. Pretty sure Troy Baker does as a character there.
Eikichi?
Yeah.
I think it's Eikichi, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I've played a little bit about Innocent Sin. Troy Baker's a good voice actor. That's why.
Yeah, he does like the same voice he does for Kanji. It threw me off.
Yeah, I mean it's like I can see why he would do that. The personalities of the two are pretty different, though. I think. Like Eikichi is a bit more confident in himself, maybe too full of himself. One might even say. I like Eikichi's design actually a lot. His design is a good design. Eikichi.
I have to get this out, okay? I argued with somebody online recently about Sai, and they argued Atlas couldn't write woman, and it was because like I was like really stupid. Or no, sorry, they could write woman antagonists. And they said they used Sai as an example. They said she's an antagonist, but she's a good person. And I'm like, well, hold on. Hold on.
She changes for the better, but at the beginning, like
Yeah, like her prosecutor,
before you take her heart.
like the shit's pretty bad. Unless you think locking up innocent people is like basic shit. Like I don't like, or at least not giving people fair trials. And then like
Which
eventually I walked them
like
down.
your
I kept watering them down until they eventually just said, okay, here's the new position then. Okay, Atlas can't write women antagonists because they always end up being good in the end. And I'm like, hold on.
Because they change
What
and
do you
grow as a
think-
person.
What do you think like a villain is? Like, do you think like somebody like there can't be a character that's a villain at one point and a villain at another point? Like, arguably, Akechi might even technically fall into this like category because even though he's a bad person throughout the entire game, he's still working on your side in third semester, like for the forces of good. Like,
Yeah, well,
yeah,
arguably, and that depends on who you ask. But yeah, sure.
well, he is working for the. Oh, okay. Well, he is.
I don't know about that. It's okay. Continue.
I just like you understand that character can be a villain and a thing, but they just completely block that out. They're just like no shot.
Yeah, well, no, it's like stupid. I feel like at that point, like you're just looking for like a talking point that's like cringe. Like it's just like that's a lot of for show discussion in general. But yeah, that person's stupid. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and then they said Sai has a confidant. Do you think Kamoshida and Madarame would have a confidant? And I'm like, no, but like you understand the kind of like you understand Akechi has a confidant too, right? And his confidant doesn't even finish until after he's revealed to be a villain. Like, also, the entire point of Sai's confidant is that's the transformation of her, basically, from an antagonist to a somebody on the like somebody who supports the protagonist, right? Like, it's literally the whole point of her confidant is it grows as you're convincing her of your justice, which is the whole crux of the plan. Because then when you convince her of your justice, then she'll trust you to show Akechi the phone, so you don't get shot in the fucking head. That's like the whole point. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like that's just a stupid fucking talking point.
Like, yeah, no shit. Kamoshida wouldn't have a confidant. He's evil from the first second you meet him. What do you mean?
Yeah, he's like super Hitler. Like they want a confidant with Shido at that point. Like I don't even like. What are you trying to get at? That's stupid. Yeah, that's a really dumb point.
Yeah, and then I basically I narrowed it down to explain it like this. I'm like Sai is also probably like the shit Kamoshida and Madarame should do is probably unforgivable. Sai probably isn't unforgivable. I had a slogan because that's all people understand. Okay, so I was like I had a slogan for it. Okay, I'm like if Kamoshida and Madarame are abusers of the system, Sai is more like abusers of a broken system. Then Sai is more like the product of a broken system. That's kind of the difference.
And she perpetuates
She just has
it too.
a distortion because of like the stuff with her father and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like she's very much within the system and within working in the norms of the system. The norms of the system are just bad, right? Unlike people like Kamoshida and Madarame who are doing things that are not within the system, right? As a gym teacher, you're not supposed to like assault your students at all, no matter sexually or not, right?
Yeah, in general.
So that's not the system. That's somebody abusing it. Where Sai is working within the system, it's just a bad system that she's abusing because of quote unquote abusing because of her distortion, right? That's the difference.
Yeah, to her, she sees it as like justified. It's just it's like mean spin. It's just a fucking, it's a whole thing. Fuck yeah, that's a big part of P5 in general. Honestly, that whole like you mentioned, yeah, like that upholding the status quo if the status quo is cringe, or like using it to your advantage, like in a fucked up way that hurts people. Like that's a big part of P5, and denying that with Psy just because she happens to change. She's an example of someone changing from within that system to changing in a way that goes not necessarily against it, but in a way that within it to change it for the better. Just denying that makes her a villain at any point is really stupid.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
just
completely agree with
really
that.
weird to me because it's just like, why would you argue that would make them bad at writing women into? Wouldn't that make them like this is, if anything, this is like more nuanced and thing. And if that's your definition of like a better villain, like wouldn't that make them better? Would you be able to make the reverse argument, if anything, like that the male ones are weaker? Because I mean, you'd have to ignore characters like Mark and Akashi and whatnot, but like. Doesn't she have like more to her than the other? Like I don't. This doesn't make any sense. I don't.
Yeah,
I
she
feel like
does, 'cause
people
she's
have these
built on a character
positions,
arc.
and then they just work backwards. Like I don't like people just really want to shit on Atlas. I guess that's all I can
Well,
think of.
a lot of it is like I don't even know what a lot of it is. A lot of it, people just very performative, I guess. You see a lot of critiques like this for like a lot of like every Atlas game, I think. Like I saw someone once say that in in P3 like the cringe hot spring scene is like so bad that it completely takes away from like Junpei's character like at that moment in the game. When to be fair, like when you play the game, you realize like he didn't know that was going to happen. Ryoji is the one who knew. Junpei was joking about it, but he actually didn't think it would happen. And like things like that, you see people fixate on things like that and like say like like it's like they treat it as character assassination. Or a better example, like that stupid fucking thing like in P5 in Tactica where Makoto like has that one sprite where she chokes out Ryuji. Like
No, that one was stupid. That one was so stupid. People were mad about that before the game even fucking came out. That was from the data mine.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like people were like up in arms about nothing. Like they say it's like, oh, because he's like an abuse victim, but like, do you think that's really being treated with like the same like is it really the same thing as Kamoshida, his superior, and like his like obviously the person with power and control abusing him for like in like within a fucking sports team? You think that is the same as the gag of Makoto choking Ryuji out for saying something stupid? Like really? Like are you fucking serious? Like it just feels like a lot of that happens in Persona. Like a lot of people like conflate shit and like that's just dumb. I don't even know.
That one was like, dude, you guys couldn't even wait for the game to come out before you started talking about this. Like, come on. Jesus Christ! And then like when you see it, it's like obviously like it's obviously like a just an over the top like sprite. Like Tactica's a cutesy fucking game. Like on can
yeah,
like,
it has
her back.
it's like built with caricatures in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just I don't. It just it doesn't. I don't know. It's just like obviously like a caricatured sprite meme. I don't know.
Oh, actually, we're talking about romance. I like how P5 Tactica let you like pick the guys too, like for that that make believe wedding thing. I thought that was pretty
cute,
cool.
yeah.
I like that. Who'd you pick?
Oh fuck! Hold on, I might have a screenshot of it. I actually don't remember.
I think I picked Yusuke, but I could be. I probably have a screenshot of it too. Actually, let me check.
That was a cute little gag.
Yeah,
I picked on.
You picked on, you lame fuck. You have the opportunity to pick men. You pick on, really? This guy, man, I'll never understand you. You fucking have the opportunity to pick all those fucking handsome men, and you pick on. Wow. I haven't finished Tactica yet. I should really get around to that. I have been wanting to beat the game for a while. It's just hard to beat video games. I don't even hate Tactica. I like tactics games.
Tactica's okay, I think. It was like it was like cute for what it was. It played decently well. I didn't think the story was that engaging. I thought the DLC was actually really good. I really like the DLC.
That's like the common consensus, isn't it? The DLC is better. I like the music in the DLC. I played a bit of it, the DLC first. Fun game. No one talked about it again even after the game came out. Yeah, true. Someone in chat just said that. They're completely right. That game really kind of came and went. It's overshadowed by Reload. It was kind of a weird marketing decision to put it like right, like to like put it in the same place that Reload got announced.
Yeah, that was stupid. Like people were just, it completely engulfed any hype there was for Tactica, which is really unfortunate. And I think the Tactica is the worst selling Persona spinoff ever because of that. It's unfortunate.
Is it actually the worst overall?
Selling, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this makes sense though. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But it's unfortunate because like, it's not a terrible game. It's okay. It's actually decent fun.
It's a good tactics game. Like for what like the genre it tackles, does a very good job. Yeah. That's like the music, like the soundtrack. So we talked about this. You don't like the soundtrack as much as I do because you think that Lin is like mixed horribly on like every song in the fucking game. I don't hold the same opinion, but each their own. You should play SMT4 someday, Serena. When are you gonna get to that?
One day. It'll come.
He's
I bought
never gonna
Extra in
fucking-
Odyssey
You-
the other day.
Yeah, you did. How do you liking that one, Screen?
I mean, it's a game. One of them for sure.
Man, what the fuck is your problem, dude? You don't like anything. What do you like? What do you actually like?
I don't know. I don't really like anything, to be honest with you.
You just live your life just despising everything you like come across.
Even
Is that
when I
how
talk
you
about the
spend all
games I
your
like,
days?
it's always negative. Look at the Reload episode.
That was a dude. I think you're acting like we were way more. We hinged every statement we made, but we didn't like hate the entire time. You exaggerate.
Well, I mean, like the whole time I was really disappointed in the game, but I was coping
You're
because I
such a fucking cock, man. I actually hate you as a person. That's your problem, man.
Hey, somebody in chat asked if we like Tactica or Strikers more. What do you like more? Do you like Tactica or Strikers? You beat none of them. I beat both of them. I'm such a true Persona 5 fan.
I got so close to beating Strikers. I'll just say I beat it. I think I prefer Strikers. I think I prefer Strikers. Yeah, I like Strikers more. I think. Oh my god, Strikers' soundtrack is
I like Tactica
amazing.
more.
Oh my.
I like Tactica. I like the gameplay more. Strikers, Warriors games just get fucking annoying after like.
I generally.
Not even annoying. They just get uninterested. Like there's just like they don't add any new mechanics past like the first part of the game. There isn't like that much of interest. I don't know. Like Warriors games just get so fucking tiring to me after a while. None of them are like innovative or interesting enough to justify the runtime.
I would agree with you, but I think I think Strikers is one of the few Warriors games I've actually gotten like a genuine kick out of for long.
It's probably the best one I've played,
fun.
but I like the way they mix the Persona system into it. But
It's a fun fucking game. I really didn't get bored of it. Like, even by the time I didn't quote unquote beat it, but I got to the last fucking dungeon, so I may as well say I beat it. Even by the end, I still was thoroughly enjoying it. It's a hard game, like not like hard, but like it's pretty challenging, especially on harder difficulties. Like it's a fun time. I got a really good fun time out of it in general, I'd say. And again, that soundtrack is fucking phenomenal. Holy shit. People don't know this. People shit on people think Kichijo's like a horrible composer because they don't like some of the Reload remixes. Kichijo is the one who did the soundtrack on Strikers, and that game is an amazing soundtrack. I bet no one knew that, huh? I bet I was the only one on planet Earth who knew that. What about you, Screen? Did you know that?
you told me, so yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm the only person on Earth who actually knows this. I should spread the news everywhere I go. But Kichijo's like
Rare
great job. He's
Kichijo
a really
W,
good
I'd say. Rare W.
Fuck you. I like
Rare
Kichijo's work.
W.
I guess now who's the fucking negative one? Oh my god.
I thought we just established I don't like
negative.
anything.
Oh, you're right. True. Yeah. What
I
the
don't
fuck is
like-
your problem? Why do you like this?
You know what? There's actually a few things I do like.
And what's that, Screen?
Kids.
Feeling more pressure but appears in the media. Better stop treating small or medium. I'm extra large, big ticket, premium. About that time you believe in me. Yeah, I'ma lay it down, grabbing that crown. Laying dollars on the ground, gonna double up now. 65 to 4 and 3, 2, one more time. Heavy punchline about to prove. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high. Clear your heads now, watch a peek. Let it go and prove my worth, let me earn it. Gonna pass this test and get me a permit. Watch how I do, sit down, observe it. Fires in my soul, uncontrollable burn. Take a beat then, look at me now. Correct your bones, the root cool, make you bow now. Class one to opponents to see. Blow kiss goodbye while they scream and shriek. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high. If you feel my vibes, then pop with me. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath.
God, thank fuck it's finally over. Now I don't have to pretend to like you anymore.
Oh man, why do you always have to say that every time we end, dude? What's
Because
the
I don't
problem,
like this.
dude?
I don't like. I fucking hate Persona 2, dude. You know how hard it is to like sit there and pretend to enjoy these games? Jesus Christ, they're so bad.
They are pretty fucking shit, but I mean, when you watch Johnny Awesome, his commentary makes him a little bit
Like,
better at
thank
least.
God
right?
I keep
he
doing
played
this.
that
Like,
fucking
yeah, I
horrible
get
game.
it. You look, stop. We have to. Have you watched, by the way, his metaphor playthrough? Because like we have to keep pretending that we played these games. Otherwise,
I'm like
this is never gonna work. We have to keep watching
I'm
his.
Partway through it. It's okay. We'll be
Yeah,
fine.
well, because we said on stream that we played them, and now we have to actually look like we played them, so they don't know we're lying. And also, I hate these get look. They're about like high schoolers and shit. Doing this pedophile joke over and over again. It's not funny anymore. I hate it. It's gonna get our reputation fucked. Like,
you keep on setting yourself up for it. Again, how are we gonna pitch this
how
show
is
to
this
like
supposed to end it?
Oziak
There's
or,
no
like...
other good joke. This is a pedophilic series, you know? I don't. Oh, wait, shit. Am I still streaming? Fuck. Hold on.
Wait, no, wait, screen! Turn off the fucking stream!